continue to bolster their resumes as they look to get more time soon coming up.
We know what they say, Gio. Hitting is contagious, and as a former player, I can attest to that fact. When the guys are going well, it's a lot easier to string together hits. You know, the new guys, the Oklahoma boys, Jackson Willits, Jason Walk, putting together a lot of consistent, a lot of quality at-bats. And when you see an entire hitting staff as a whole firing on all cylinders, I know they didn't come on the right side of the scorecard yesterday, but 14 hits as a hitting staff, there's a lot to smile about and a lot contagious about that.
A hitting staff, as we mentioned, we'll close the book on Rembert here in the open, folks. Max, I'm curious to get your opinion as a former player on how a 4-for-4 performance with a couple of singles, a double, a home run, and a walk can energize a lineup going into the next night, especially coming off of a loss.
Well, it all comes down to confidence, Gio. Seeing the confidence in this guy, of course, going to be leaving pretty soon, but knowing that because of the contagious factor, they're able to have high caliber, elite, consistent at-bats as an offense. They're able to pick each other's brains. Ask Chris what's working so well. That is so crucial when you have all these guys coming from all throughout the country to be able to come together, talk about their swings, talk about the approach, and see what works.
Batting cleanup for the second straight night, Rembert, the Auburn Tiger, caught up with our reporter Charlie Adams pregame. Take a
Charlie Adams alongside Chris Rembert, and yesterday didn't go the Harbor Hawks way versus Wareham, but at the plate it was going your way, Chris. 4-for-4, a home run, double, 2 singles, and a walk. Picked up 3 RBIs on 1 big swing in the first inning. How was it getting your first home run on the Cape and putting the Hawks ahead early?
It was awesome. I'm just glad to jump on them early and put some runs on the board for that pitcher.
And you're coming from Auburn. Is it a bit different feeling, hit a home run here on the Cape?
Yeah, it is. You don't have the crowd going crazy. Yeah, that's probably the biggest difference, honestly. And the wood bat, too.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, you got a home run, then you got a double. Did you start thinking cycle watch at that point? You picked up the single even. You have the speed for the triple. Did you ever cross your mind?
Yeah, it did. I'm not going to lie. I heard everybody talk about it in the dugout, but I knew I wasn't going to get it, so just kept on hitting, you know.
And it came with you moving up in the order. You batted 4th for the first time this season. Did that kind of help you out there, getting the cleanup spot and being able to deliver?
Not really. It was nice to just be able to hit in the first inning, though. That's what I'm used to in college ball.
And we know you're heading to Team USA, North Carolina soon. What is this time before heading for Team USA? What are you trying to accomplish during this time on the Cape?
I'm just trying to see pitching, get some at-bats in, have some quality at-bats, and just get prepared for the guys there.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Welcome you back to Cotuit, Lowell Park, the stage for what should be exciting theater between a couple of teams, Graham, as we mentioned at the top of the show. Cotuit took 3 of the 5 matchups last year. One of the major omissions from the Kettleers dugout this year is Mike Roberts, many-year manager for Cotuit. Lauren Hibbs replaces him, head coach of the Kettleers for the 2025 season earlier this spring. Coach of the Year honors in 4 major conferences, yet for the Cotuit skipper, hasn't been all too pretty right now. Just 10 runs on the season, dead last in the Cape League.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting start for this Cotuit team. I mean, for me, the most interesting part is that they played 2 10-inning games back-to-back to start the season. They lost the first game, won the second. Back-to-back games of extra innings, that can just kind of take the wind out of your sails a little bit as a team, for a team in their entirety. So for Hibbs, it's been a tough task early on. But this team, I mean, we just saw a very cool moment with one of the players playing the national anthem, and they seem very connected. All the pitchers came running out of the bullpen. They seem like they get along well, so I think it'll all take care of itself.
How about the multi-talented Andrew Wiggins,
Yeah.
Graham? You were telling us before the game that this might happen. He is a saxophonist, folks, an accomplished jazz musician, also batting 9th tonight, the Indiana Hoosier playing left field. And let's meet the lineup for the visiting Harbor Hawks. It's Matt Mura to lead off again after a stellar stretch of games for the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. Switch hitting Jackson Willits, second bat playing DH tonight, his 3rd different position, folks, in as many games as a Harbor Hawk. Andrew Williamson slots back into the lineup, batting 3rd and playing right. Chris Rembert, off that 4-for-4 performance a night ago, batting cleanup again and playing second base, moving from left field. Miles Bailey is batting 5th, as he did last night, the first baseman. Ray Velasquez back in the lineup again, the Austin Peay Governor playing third base tonight, the righty, followed up by Charlie Bates, lefty in left field. He moves from shortstop and bats 7th. Vaughn Lackey, the catcher, batting 8th, and Jake Schaffner returns to the lineup. A shortstop, lefty, batting 9th. A couple of returns to the lineup, Max, and what's been a theme for Coach Carricker this year, guys are going to get opportunities to play everywhere.
I mean, we talked about it a couple days ago. It's always who's in, who's out, and Mitch Carricker preparing for the future, which is always uncertain here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and that just speaks to the versatility of this Harbor Hawks team. How about Charlie Bates out there in left field today? We've seen him at short. We've seen him at second, now playing the outfield. When Mitch Carricker has some guys that can hit at an elite level, play defense at an elite level throughout the entire field, that's got to be so reassuring.
The defensive alignment for the Kettleers from left to right in the outfield. It's Andrew Wiggins, the multi-talented left fielder from Indiana, on the saxophone pregame, playing our national anthem. Easton Winfield in center, Nolan Stevens in right. And the infield from third to first, it's Camden Johnson playing third base for the Kettleers, Ryan Farber at shortstop. The batting champ from a year ago in the Cape Cod Baseball League, Jaron Advincula at second, and Case Sanderson at first, with Jack Natilli DHing and Luke Lavin behind the plate. It's a Kettleer lineup that's led off with Jaron Advincula, Graham. A stellar season for Cotuit a year ago. The Cal Golden Bear back with the Kettleers for 2025.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be a big part of the new identity for Cotuit. And I mean the identity post-Fenway Day, because like we talked about, they didn't have a good start. They're still not really in their groove. 1 for 4 on the season. So Advincula, he is going to be huge in just rebounding and getting this team a little bit more familiar with getting hits and getting on base.
Advincula is in the transfer portal, with On3 reporting that 3 SEC schools are in contention. Second team All-ACC selection for Advincula for the Golden Bears this year. A sophomore from Santa Clara, California. CCBL batting title, we mentioned, an all-star as well. Just 1 error on the entire season with Cotuit. Already batting .313 this year in 2025. Let's meet the right-hander for Cotuit, Reed Mooring. Out of UC Santa Barbara, through in the Gauchos' season-ending game against Oregon in the Santa Barbara Regional. First time the Gauchos have ever hosted an NCAA Regional. 6'1", 190-pound right-hander. Made 5 starts in 7 appearances this year for the Gauchos, with 21 strikeouts, a 2.55 ERA, and 17.2 innings pitched. He's ready atop the bump. His battery mate, Lavin, as Matt Mura digs in. The righty center fielder leading off for the Harbor Hawks. 3-2-1 versus 1-5. The pitch is tapped towards short. Farber fields on a hop, collects it as he throws it into the air, and Mura nearly legs it out, but it's an out at first. 1 away quickly here at Cotuit.
Bang, bang play at first base, and a great job by Mura to hustle with the bobble by the shortstop Farber That just shows you any leadoff hitter, they're always going to be chugging to first base because you just never know.
It looked like it took a hop off of Farber's palm, and that's kind of why he had trouble fielding it. It was coming in hot. Mura got all of it.
1 out, no one on for Jackson Willits. The switch-hitting DH swings it from the left side. And first ball to him, loops in for a strike. First pitch comes at 5:01 here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. A beautiful, clear and cloudy day with the wind slightly at the back of the hitter. 0-1, misses outside, 1-1. Willits has enjoyed a hot start to his second Cape League campaign. He's an all-star in 2024 with the Falmouth Commodores. Reached base in each of his first 3 at-bats a night ago. He takes a ball upstairs, 2-1.
And he's coming off of 2 multi-hit performances to start the season. A 10-game on-base streak starting in college with Oklahoma. In 8 of those 10 games, he's had 4 multi-hit performances.
2-1 is chopped over the head of the pitcher Mooring to the second baseman Advincula, who slings it to first in time for the out. A 2 up, 2 down for the Santa Barbara Gaucho Reed Mooring.
Well, we talked yesterday in Hyannis's battle with the Gatemen of Wareham, how Wareham was going to have to try to turn it into a pitcher's duel. Ironically, it really wasn't. It became an offensive battle, but it feels like Cotuit has to do the same. They haven't scored a lot.
A 12-6 final yesterday featuring a total of 30 hits between the two sides. Here's the lefty Andrew Williamson. First ball to him, misses upstairs. 0-1 to the UCF Knight. Out of the lineup yesterday, as you heard. Last played against Bourne and scored twice with 3 appearances on base. 1-0 finds the inner corner to level the count 1-1. 2 outs, no one aboard. Still a scoreless affair here in Cotuit between the Harbor Hawks and Kettleers. 1-1. Check swing on the appeal. He went around. 1-2 to Williamson.
It's a really good breaking ball. Started it right at the top of the zone, so he thinks it's going to go right into the sweet spot. Sweeps under the knees. And it just shows that these Harbor Hawk hitters are going to have to adjust.
The lefty digs in, 1-2. Fastball misses high. Count square, 2-2.
He's so good at working counts. He's so good at staying in them when the count is against him. This is a great example. Williamson with a good eye there on a high heater that's so tempting to swing on.
The red-hot Rembert waits on deck. Deuces wild. Pitch just misses the letters. Williamson lays off it. Load the count, 3-2.
And Mooring going right to that outside corner pretty frequently with the fastball and the breaking ball. Really likes that location.
2 outs, no one aboard. Mooring peers in for his sign. Now he has it. From the stretch, he deals. And the breaking ball misses high. Williamson chucks the bat. He's on his way to first with a 2-out walk.
And that's a great example of the patience and of the ability to work a count. He was down 1-2 and then worked it all the way back. 3 straight balls, 2 of which were high heaters, and then that breaking ball really wasn't close. But his patience is just unbelievable.
2 outs and Williamson aboard for Chris Rembert, who had as hot a start as he could yesterday. A homer in the first inning to put Hyannis up 3-0. Pickoff attempted first, not in time. In each of the last 2 games, rather 2 of the last 3, a Harbor Hawk has been picked off along the base paths. Mooring nods for his sign and deals. Upstairs nearly hits Rembert as it misses the inner corner with a fastball, 1-0. Velasquez was tagged out at Chatham on Tuesday in the second. Matt Mura, as the first batter of the game to reach, was picked off by Daniel Powell for Wareham. The 1-0. Right down Broadway for a strike with a fastball. A ball and a strike to Chris Rembert. That homer followed up with a single, another single, and a double, in addition to a walk in his final at-bat. 1-1 pitch. Tapped foul third base line. Rembert now down 1-2. 2 outs, just Williamson aboard first. A scoreless affair between Hyannis and Cotuit in the top of the first inning at Lowell Park. Mooring deals exclusively from the stretch. He holds the glove at his chest, peers back at first where Williamson leads off. Now comes set. He kicks and throws. Rembert lifts this in the air to deep left center field. Back on it, Wiggins, and it is gone. So nice, he did it twice. Chris Rembert with back-to-back first inning home runs. And Hyannis leads Cotuit 2-0. He stays red hot, Max. Now 5 of his last 5 with a couple of first-inning home runs. Chris Rembert has just put Hyannis up by a couple.
How about 5 RBIs in 2 consecutive first innings? 3 with the 3-run home run yesterday. Here the 2-run shot. It's just such an asset for Mitch Carricker. Got extended on a fastball, and we're sitting with a 2-0 lead, guys.
A 2-0 cushion for Miles Bailey. Fouls the first ball into the screen, down 0-1. Is top 5 for Hyannis a gauntlet to go from Willits to Williamson to Rembert to Bailey and have Mira lead off. 0-1, misses the inner corner, and Bailey levels the count 1-1.
And this is now 3 straight games for the Hawks where they've scored in the first inning. Scored in the top of the first at Bourne, top of the first here at Lowell Park, and then bottom of the first at home yesterday.
1-1 pitch. Sails above the letters, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I asked Mitch Carricker if they were trying for a little bit of an ambush tactic. He said no. He said that's just kind of how things are going right now. But, man, they're hitting well in this first inning.
2-1. He's scorched in the air to shallow right field. Kettleers converging on it, and it drops between all of them. 4 Cotuit players racing to a lofting ball from Miles Bailey. And no one there to receive it as he is aboard with a 2-out bloop single.
It caught what I like to call the fireplace. You got a lot of people just standing around, and it hits right in the center. That was just, I mean, that is the definition of a bloop single. It was so high, it looked like it could be a routine pop or fly out, and it just kind of kept drifting and then hit that no man's land.
Here's Ray Velasquez from the right side, the third baseman back in the lineup after taking a day off yesterday, with Bailey on first and 2 outs. Breaking ball finds the inner third for a strike from Mooring. And to close the book on the first inning success for Hyannis, Graham, it hasn't come at a premium this season for the Harbor Hawks. Tuesday at Chatham was the first time they had scored in the opening inning all season long. 0-1 pitch misses at the knees of Velasquez. It's 1-1 to the Austin P. Governor.
That's exactly right. Their leadoff batters were struggling tremendously. They were around the 5 for 30 mark with a couple of walks through the first games, but then, yeah, they really took off at Bourne.
Mooring's 1-1. Sails high at the letters, 2 balls and a strike. With Bailey creeping off of first, it's already 2-0 Hyannis here in the top of the first inning. 2 outs after a quick couple of batters retired for Reed Mooring. Set from the stretch, he looks back at Bailey, glove at his belt, he's ready. 6 on the clock, the pitch. Foul back to the screen, and deuces are wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Surprised he went back to a fastball because he did have a little bit of trouble with it, the command in this at bat, but he had that first pitch breaking ball in the outer half. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the off-speed stuff.
Velasquez digs in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mooring ready atop the hill with 2 outs and Bailey on. The pitch, breaking ball down Broadway, strike 3. Velasquez rung up, as are Mira and Willits, but Williamson reaches with a 2-out walk, and Chris Rembert brings him home. The second consecutive first-inning homer for the Auburn Tiger. On his way to Team USA this week, he's not going to leave without getting his money's worth. It's already 2-0 Hyannis as we head to the bottom half of the first inning here in Cotuit.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Yeah, awesome. Back at Lowell Park, it's time for the bottom half of the first inning after Hyannis gets off to the races once again. A 2-run homer from Chris Rembert that brings home Andrew Williamson with 2 outs in the inning. It's 1, 2, and 3, obviously, for Cotuit to start the game. Jaron Advincula, the second baseman, followed up by Ryan Farber, the shortstop, and Jack Natilli, the DH. They'll face the left-hander Trey Beard for Hyannis, who last appeared on Sunday against Harwich. And through 4 innings, struck out 6 Mariners in his second stint with the Harbor Hawks. We forgot to mention at the top of the show, guys, this is a matchup between former teammates atop the bump. Reed Mooring was with Hyannis a year ago and pitched a 3.52 ERA in 15.1 innings, 7 games for the Harbor Hawks in 2024. His teammate Trey Beard mustered a 6.55 ERA in just 3 games for the Harbor Hawks in 2024. He steps atop the bump. He's one of Baseball America's rising college MLB draft prospects to watch in 2026. A recent transfer to Florida State just last week while the teams were getting set here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. His first pitch is roped towards the second baseman, Rembert, rather. He gathers it up quickly and fires to first. So a couple of first pitch outs between these two sides to start each half inning.
And we didn't think that we were going to see Trey Beard again because he, like you said, going to USA Baseball. So this is just a treat now for the Hyannis players and Hyannis coaching staff. But he worked so well, so quickly in that game against Harwich. 2 hits, no runs. I mean, he couldn't have been any more solid.
1 pitch and 1 out for the rising junior from Dunedin, Florida. And up comes Ryan Farber, the shortstop, swinging it from the right side. First pitch. At the knees, it clips the zone for a strike at 89 miles per hour, 0-1.
And one of the reasons why Beard had 6 punch-outs through 4 in his first start is the first pitch strikes, what we're seeing right here.
Beard with the glove at his belt, has his sign, kicks and delivers. And a bunt squared from Farber. A diving Lackey makes the grab off the foul ball. A yard sale from Vaughn Lackey for the second out of the inning. It's a foul tip into the glove of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. Take a bow, Vaughn Lackey.
What a play. Unbelievable. The fact that he was in the crouch, had to go against his momentum, and full-on Superman dive. Boys, it's been a treat to watch him behind the plate, up like a cat.
Leaps full extension just shy of the on-deck circle by the Cotuit dugout. So now 2 outs, and Jack Natilli, the DH, to the plate. And a first pitch breaking ball right over the center of the zone for a strike. Beard put together a stellar 2025 for the FAU Owls. First team All-AAC selection. 12 outings with at least 5 innings pitched. His 0-1. Skips into Lackey. It's 1-1. Well, Lackey makes a ridiculous play. Max, as you mentioned, a full extension dive on a ball that was somewhat sharply fouled off.
I thought he had no chance at that. It was directly behind him and to his left.
1-1 deal. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Dove so far, he had to drop the helmet. Rather, he dropped the helmet before he went off. Had his part of it still on his head. And came up smiling. Beard's 1-2. Breaking ball right down Broadway, strike 3. 3 up and 3 down for Trey Beard in the bottom half of the first inning with a little help from his friend Vaughn Lackey. It's still 2-0 Hyannis here at Lowell Park. On the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, we'll keep it right here, folks, and go to our wonderful sideline reporter, Ethan Wax.
Thank you very much, Gio. Hyannis second baseman Chris Rembert was a major bright spot in an otherwise tough loss last night for the Hawks. He was now 5 for 5 with 2 home runs, one that you saw in the top of the first, a double, a walk, 3 RBIs, a run scored, and a stolen base. He was electric throughout the game and is off to a strong start this season. He is hitting a whopping now 8 for 18, which is good for first in the Cape League in OPS, 3rd in average, and 4th in RBIs. Rembert was a first-team freshman All-American at Auburn, where he became the first freshman at the school to earn all SEC honors in 17 years. He looks to continue his hot summer with the bat as we swing it over to our team in the booth for the top of the second inning. Guys?
Thank you very much, Ethan. Wonderful story on Chris Rembert. As you mentioned, his prowess at the plate has heated up in the past 2 days alone. 5 for 5 going back to last night's game against Wareham with a home run in the first inning that's got Hyannis ahead of Cotuit 2-0. At Bourne, just 1 for 3 with a walk. He reached on an error, 2 RBI double in the first. Max, it seems like whenever Chris Rembert is at the plate, yes, he's a threat to get a hit, but it feels like in those clutch moments, when he absolutely needs to get a hit, is when he rises it the most.
I think the scientific term you're looking for is he's seeing beach balls, because that's what's going on right now, especially in the clutch moments. Some players have that clutch gene. Chris Rembert pops that 2-run home run with 2 outs. Some guys are just different like that, Gio. There's no other way to put it.
Top of the second, Reed Mooring atop the bump. The lefty Charlie Bates sets in. 7-8-9 due to the plate for Hyannis, and he takes a first pitch ball low and inside. Mooring pitches for UC Santa Barbara, a rising senior from Aptos, California. 5 starts and 7 appearances. His 1-0 is roped to right to the shortstop Farber, who barely moves for the first out of the inning. Bates retired as the first batter at the top of the second. Mooring will look to shake off a tumultuous first inning in which he got the first 2 outs on ground outs of Matt Mira and Jackson Willits. He walks Andrew Williamson, and Rembert makes him pay. Here's Vaughn Lackey, fresh off one of the most remarkable plays of the entire season thus far. First pitch. Breaking ball misses low and outside. It's 1-0 to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket catcher. Lackey, off a foul tip behind the dish, springs out of his crouch and dives full extension for the catch, and thus the out. 1-0. Swing and a miss. He's ahead of it. 1-1.
Back-to-back breaking balls there to Lackey from Reed Mooring. The first one, Lackey had a really good eye. Both the pitches were pretty much identical. Started down the hard and then dove down, but he went swinging for that second one.
Kick and a deal. Lackey stands pat as it's 2-1 inside. Reed Mooring has to shake, as we mentioned, a tumultuous inning. A 2.55 ERA in 17.2 innings pitched for the Gauchos. A 2-1 is lifted high in the air to shallow right. Advincula calls off his right fielder and gloves the second out. 2 up, 2 down for the second consecutive inning, Max, for Reed Mooring, but now Jake Schaffner comes to the plate with the threat of flipping the order.
And you think, okay, good. We got 2 up, 2 down. Now we go to the number 9 man. But Schaffner functioning as sort of a pseudo leadoff man, one of the better hitters on this Harbor Hawk teams in terms of contact, and not an easy out.
Schaffner back in the lineup after a night off yesterday. First pitch to him. Shows bunt, and he gets it down in front of the pitcher. Mooring gloves it, throws on to first. Late. Schaffner legs out a bunt with 2 outs to extend the inning. And small ball from Hyannis has another runner aboard with 2 gone.
Jake Schaffner is just a guy that will dig it out of the dirt. That was such a well-placed bunt. Right next to the mound, but a little bit closer down the third base line, so it made it hard for Mooring to get there quickly. And, man, he is just so quick. He got there rapidly.
As the philosopher Jagger says, he'll make a grown man cry, and that grown man in this case will be Mitch Carricker for the beauty of that bunt for a base hit. 2 outs and Schaffner aboard. Flip the order for Matt Mira. A pickoff move at first, and it's not in time. We mentioned that Hyannis base runners have been picked off in each of the last 2 games. It was Matt Mira who stands at the dish now yesterday. Ray Velasquez against Chatham this past Tuesday. The pitch drifts inside. It's 1-0 to the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. Up for the second time in as many innings. He led off the game with a ground out to short, trying to tail Chris Rembert and make Cotuit pay with 2 outs and a man aboard. 1-0 pitch. Sails inside. It's 2-0 to Matt Mira. 92 on the gun that time for Reed Mooring, Max. Well, among the higher numbers we've seen thus far in this game from him.
Especially trying to make the hitter uncomfortable going up and in.
Glove at his belt. He breathes in, nods for a sign, and fires. Mira fouls it right over our heads. It's a first strike, 2-1.
Matt Mira has been pretty much a perfect leadoff man for Hyannis in this entire season. Only one game where he has not gotten a hit. That was an 0-for-2 performance against Brewster, but he drew 2 walks. He still got himself on base.
A ticker tape day against Bourne, 3-for-4 with a double and an RBI. Pick back at first, not in time. We'll do the 2-1 again, rather for the first time. At top of the second, it's a 2-0 Hyannis lead off the Rembert home run in the first. An eerily similar situation to this one now, with a man on and 2 out. 2-1. Schaffner's off. The throw comes into second. It bounces in. Advincula spins, and his tag is late as Schaffner steals second base and is in scoring position.
Well, he's a threat. We know he's quick, especially based off that bunt that he reached first on. That is just stellar base running. The throw was a little bit off. If Lavin hit that on the mark, it might have actually clipped Schaffner. 2 outs. Schaffner now on second. 3-1 upcoming to Matt Mira. The payoff is high. He's worked a walk. 2 aboard with 2 outs in the second inning here against Reed Mooring. Unbelievable. That extends an on-base streak to 27 straight games for Matt Mira, stretching back to his last season at Hawaii. He is an on-base machine. His college coach, Rich Hill, calls him a toolsy player that can get it to center field with supreme defensive skills, yet doesn't laud his walks as much as you'd think based on what we've seen from him this season. A mound visit due in from Lauren Hibbs of Cotuit. Won't point to the bullpen here. There is movement in the bullpen in left center field for Cotuit. Lauren Hibbs replaces Mike Roberts, who's here for nearly 30 years as the manager of Cotuit. Coach of the Year honors for Hibbs in 4 major conferences: the Metropolitan, Conference USA, the Atlantic 10, and the American. Head coach at Wichita State most recently, but was the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers for 27 seasons. Won a 1989 national championship with Wichita State. First pitch to Jackson Willits. Sails high. It's a ball and a strike. And you think that after 2 quick outs, a single and then a walk, they wouldn't be that desperate to go out and talk to him. But you think of the scenario, Cotuit hasn't scored and they're down 2. Willits tattoos this one to Advincula. It dies before it gets to the second baseman. He bounces in the throw to retire Willits. A couple of innings, a couple of 2-out base runners for Reed Mooring. This time he gets out of it with a ground out for Jackson Willits. To the bottom of the second we go here at Lowell Park. It's 2-0 Harbor Hawks over the Kettleers.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. Or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Time for the bottom of the second, here at Lowell Park. Trey Beard back atop the bump after going 1-2-3 in the first inning. It's 2-0 Harbor Hawks. Chris Rembert's first inning home run still the difference here at Lowell Park. And Trey Beard will begin with the right fielder Nolan Stevens, first baseman Case Sanderson, and the center fielder Easton Winfield in his second inning of work here at Lowell Park. Beard, an incoming transfer to Florida State, as we alluded to, Graham. The Dunedin, Florida native, grew up a Seminole fan. And does it surprise you at all that manager Micah Posey for Florida State allows him to go another inning? Or another outing, rather?
Originally I was, but then you think about his first start against Harwich, and he only pitched more than the minimum once in that appearance, and he faced 4 batters. So he makes quick work of guys.
First pitch to the lefty Nolan Stevens. Clips the knees for a strike. 90 miles per hour on the gun for Trey Beard. He's ahead 0-1. The Beard fanned 6 Mariners in that performance, Graham, through across 4 innings. His 0-1 drifts inside but clips the plate. 0-2. A jarring difference in speed, 90 miles per hour on that first ball to Nolan Stevens, 75 on the next one. From the stretch, Beard, a hesitation, and the kick. It's in for a ball.
That was a really good pitch, low fastball. Lackey did a good job of framing it, but didn't get the call.
Stevens digs in from the lefty box, his bat behind his dark blue Kettleer helmet. 1-2 on the way from Beard. Sliced foul, third base side rather. We'll do it again.
We talked about Cotuit with 10 runs, the worst in the Cape. How about one extra base hit as a team through 6 games? That's a team 466 OPS.
The team with the next least runs, Max, has 21, and that's Orleans. Jarring difference. The 1-2. Loops in. At the letters, it's called ball 2. Stevens out of Mississippi State, a sophomore from Elk Grove, California, stands 6'4", 218, among the taller batters in the Kettleer lineup today. Highly sought after recruit in the 23 class. His 2-2 is upstairs and outside. Load the count to Stevens. Number 2 at the first base position in the entire country. Top 70 overall. And Stevens is not going to stay in one position. At Mississippi State, as he ropes the 3-2 foul, he started 3 games at DH, 2 in right field, 1 in left, and even got into pitch. There's do it all, and then there's that. He steps out of the box momentarily, now taps the dish with his cream-colored and black bat. Beard ready for the stretch. The pitch. Another foul ball, first base side. We'll do it again.
And this is part of the reason why he was so sought after, is because of his ability to work a count. Went down 0-2 to one of the best pitchers in the Cape League right now and has worked it back to 3-2, fouled off 2 straight strikes. He is playing really hard to get out.
Lefty Kate Sanderson waits on deck. 3-2 is softly hit into shallow left field. Velasquez ducks as the shortstop Schaffner comes in and makes the backhanded catch on the run. 1 out here in the bottom of the second for Trey Beard.
And that's a common drill in practice, those little bloops in no man's land, and that is absolutely Schaffner's ball because he's got the best route. He's running straight to it. Velasquez running backwards, Schaffner the right play.
4 up, 4 down for Beard to start the game with a strikeout to end the first inning. Up comes the lefty Cade Sanderson, playing first base today. Beard's first offering. Just outside with a fastball, 1-0. Well, Beard had 6 starts with double-digit strikeouts this year. 12 outings with 5 innings pitched for FAU. 1-0 is chopped towards first. Bailey fields to the backhand, throws to Beard on the run. It's behind him as he steps on the bag, and Sanderson is safe. Lackey there for the cleanup, or else that could have spelled extra bases for Case Sanderson. So with 1 out, there's a man aboard for Cotuit at long last.
And after the throw, right after Bailey released it, he just looked right at Trey Beard and at the dugout and just tapped his jersey. Little jersey tap saying, my bad, my bad. He knew that that one was off the plate. And those are the kinds of mistakes that can bite you.
It was right between Rembert at second and Bailey at first. Bailey called off Rembert, fielded with a backhand. Always the less preferable option. Here's the third straight lefty in Easton Winfield. First ball to him. Misses low and away. It's 1-0. Winfield, a sophomore at the University of Texas, a native of Alvin, Texas, named one of the top 12 transfers to watch prior to the season after spending his freshman year at the University of Louisiana Monroe. Beard's 1-0. It clips the outer corner for a strike. The fastball just found the outside edge, according to home plate umpire George Strasky. Beard set atop the bump. He's in the stretch with the glove at his right pec. It's 2-0 Hyannis here in the bottom of the second. Man on first and 1 out. The pitch. Outside, it's 2-1 to Easton Winfield.
And that one down in the dirt. Lackey did a good job staying in front of it, not let it get past and allow a free base to Sanderson, who is the first base runner of the day to Cotuit. Came via the error, not a base hit or a walk.
Arrow docked to Miles Bailey. 2-1 is in the dirt. Lackey able to stop it. He makes a hitter's count for the lefty. Steps out of the box, fiddles with his jersey, takes a deep breath. He puts both hands on the bat briefly. Now rests it on his left shoulder. Beard looks at first from the stretch and comes home. Chopped foul, first base line, 3-2.
Pretty sure this is the first at bat that Trey Beard has been down in. It was a 3-1 count. He has been ahead in almost every single one, but that was a great breaking ball, low in the zone. Got Winfield to just clip the top of it, send it foul, and now it's full.
Sanderson on first stole 3 bases for Nebraska this year. 3-2 pitch. Low and outside. It's ball 4. A pair of runners aboard. Sanderson reaches with the error, and now Winfield aboard with the first walk of the day issued by Beard.
And that's a great at-bat. Uncharacteristic of what the Cotuit Kettleers have done early on this season. It's hard to work an at-bat like that against a guy like Trey Beard, let alone left on left.
To do so against a pitcher that only walked 32 batters this year in 86 innings. 1 out, 2 on for a 4th straight lefty, Luke Lavin, the catcher, batting 7th today. Beard calls time with 7 on the pitch clock as Vaughn Lackey pops out of his crouch. It's a meeting of the minds midway between the dish and the mound.
And that's the first walk that Trey Beard has issued this summer. Through 6 innings, he allowed 32, through 32 walks with Florida Atlantic over 86 innings. So he walks guys, he does, and now he's just got to lock back in, only 1 out on the scoreboard.
2-0 lead for Hyannis here in the bottom of the 2nd. And 2 aboard with, as you mentioned, Graham 1 out. The pitch is sliced through the gap in left, and it's through for a base hit. That brings 1 man around. Sanderson will score. You get a stop sign at second for Winfield. It's an RBI single for Luke Lavin, and Cotuit have struck back. It's 2-1.
Well, that is just a really good piece of hitting. Goes to left field, gets it through the gap. Schaffner was shifted a little bit away from the usual shortstop position, expecting a little bit of a push, I guess. But that was right through the gap. A really good swing, and that's big for Cotuit. That doesn't really score a lot.
Up here, Cam Johnson. Another lefty in this lineup, the 5th in a row for Lauren Hibbs. Beard takes a breath, looks back at second. Another look back, now comes home. This one is tapped towards Bailey on a knee. He fields it, and it's an out. He caught it. It took him down to a knee, a soft line out from Cam Johnson on just 1 pitch, and there's 2 away. So after 4 up and 4 down, Beard allowed 3 consecutive Kettleers to reach. It's 2-1 Hyannis, and that brings up another lefty in Andrew Wiggins. 6 in a row to round out this lineup for Lauren Hibbs. Beard, another deep breath. Now he comes home. Breaking ball misses the knees. It's 1-0. Wiggins in the transfer portal from your Indiana Hoosiers, Graham, has a special talent that he displayed for all to see pregame, performing the national anthem on his saxophone. Beard looks at second, now comes home. And sliced foul, a ball and a strike to Wiggins.
And Wiggins had a pretty good year with Indiana. He was a phenomenal leadoff batter for the Hoosiers early on. Had an average well above 350 for a long time, but then middle of the season came, Big Ten play came, and he started to just dip. His average dipped down a little bit. He started to fall in the lineup, took some games off, so he's trying to rekindle some magic here on the Cape.
Beard with the glove at his belt. A ball and a strike to Wiggins, the pitch. Sails above the letters, it's 2-1. That average goes from 350, Graham, to 231.
Yeah.
Or rather, 265. He's batting 231 with the Kettleers this year in just 3 games. Beard comes set from the stretch. Wiggins ready, the 2-1. Breaking ball, sails high, 3-1.
He's an unbelievable hitter, one of the best in high school from Indianapolis, Indiana. Decided to stay home, play for his home state school, but he just couldn't quite find it. He was one of the highest rated high school players out of his year, but just didn't have the stuff at IU.
Beard's 3-1. Out of the letters, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Trey Beard as Andrew Wiggins loads the bases with 2 outs.
And the difference in this inning is the way that the Kettleers are working at bats in that first inning. Quick and easy, 1, 2, 3. Didn't have to make them work as we'll get a mound visit from Blaze Martinez.
Hyannis pitching coach coming out to speak with Trey Beard. We don't have a great vantage point of the bullpen, which is all the way down in right field. We're on the first base line here at Lowell Park on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg with you for Hyannis' 6th game of the young summer. Rather, 7th game of the young summer. Hard to believe we're already through 7.
Yeah.
Flip the order for Cotuit as 4 of the last 5 Kettleers to come to the plate against Trey Beard have reached. It's been 7 straight lefties this inning to face the left-hander Trey Beard. And that's got to factor into it somehow, Max.
Absolutely, and especially Beard. You don't usually see the walks. Graham mentioned no walks in his first outing. Now he's got 2 already.
Advincula ready for his second at-bat of the game. Beard delivers. A fastball inside. Advincula shuffles out of the way. It's 1-0.
Just a complete 180. That first inning, first pitch strikes, just pumped in there. This one, kind of hard to come by.
Advincula grounded out in the first pitch of his last plate appearance in the top of the first. Bottom of the second, 2-1 Hyannis lead. The pitch is chopped softly to Rembert. Clutches, throws, and ends an inning for Trey Beard in which he allows 4 of 5 Kettleers to reach with outs flanking either side. It's 2-1 as Cotuit have cut into the Hyannis lead. We head to the third from Lowell Park here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
To the top of the third we go here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. Hyannis clings to a 2-1 lead as the Kettleers get one back in the second. It starts with an error to Case Sanderson, a walk to Winfield, and an RBI single to Luke Lavin as Cotuit gets one back on Trey Beard, a tough pitcher to face. We go back to Reed Mooring atop the bump for the Kettleers. He'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the Harbor Hawk order. Right fielder Andrew Williamson. Chris Rembert, the second baseman, comes back to the plate after a home run in the first inning. And the first baseman, Miles Bailey, batting 5th tonight. Both Williamson and Ray Velasquez are out of the lineup tonight, Graham. And they come back in with 31 combined career home runs. Those are a couple powerful bats that Hyannis missed last night in the 12-6 loss to Wareham.
Yeah, didn't play against Wareham. I think just giving him a rest. I mean, we talked about it this morning before we came to the ballpark. It's a long season. He might only be 40 games, and they're used to the college schedule, but the college schedule is a midweek and then a series at the weekend. They don't play day after day after day, so it's valuable to give your best bats a couple of days off.
Lefty Williamson digs in. Reed Mooring nods for his sign atop the mound, glove at his belt. He throws. Check swing, foul ball down the third baseline. 0-1.
Williamson frustrated, not very happy that he swung at that. Just kind of had a face of really when he turned away from the plate.
That's exactly what the hitter thinks every time that happens.
0-1 for Mooring. Sails high with a breaking ball at the head of Williamson. 1-1.
Mooring threw a lot of those high pitches to Williamson the first time around. He was down, I believe, 1-2 in the count and then worked it back to a walk.
1-1 skips in the dirt to the battery mate Lavin. Blocks it. 2-1 to Williamson. He's 2 for 5 with a single his last time out at Bourne this past Thursday. An RBI double in the 6th inning. On Tuesday against Chatham, he failed to reach base for the first time all year. 2-1 for Mooring. Sneaks in with a fastball, 2-1. Williamson, you're going to see nothing on the ground from him, folks, or in this case, you're going to hear about nothing on the ground. Able to connect with anything and everything, according to bench coach Rich Cogliano. Swings through the 2-2, though, and it's the first out of the inning for Reed Mooring. He rings up Williamson. Tough task to do. 1 down here in the third.
Pulled the string. Really nice tunnel on that breaking ball with the changeup. Changing speeds to stay off the fastball, so Williamson thinks he recognizes it, but it's a different pitch. So difficult.
Second K of the day for Reed Mooring. Here's the toughest out in the order so far, Chris Rembert. First pitch to the righty. It's low it away. It's 1-0 to the Auburn Tiger. A second consecutive first inning home run. Last night, a 3-run shot to deep right center field bangs off the light that stands just beneath the wall. 1-0 pitch is just inside with a fastball. 2-0 to Rembert. This home run, a no-doubter. Where some fans have some beach chairs in left center field. Landed mere feet from them. 2-0. And he tops this to third base on a hop. It's fielded by Johnson across the diamond. He makes the second out of the inning.
Well, all good things have to come to an end eventually. Chris Rembert was on a 5-for-5 streak with a walk. Unbelievable. And I mean, still, even if that's the end of the day, 1 for 2, 1 for 3, 1 for 4 with a home run, he's going to take that all day long.
Up comes Miles Bailey. The 6'4" first baseman swings it from the left side, coming to the plate for a second time in this game. 2 outs and no one on. The pitch. Tapped foul behind the dish. Bailey singled as the third consecutive Harbor Hawk to reach with 2 outs in the first inning. Now comes to the plate off a bit of a cold streak himself. The dichotomy there between Rembert and Bailey, 5 for 5. But Bailey hasn't gotten a hit. That was his first hit since the first inning of yesterday's game. 0-1. Shot foul right down to the plate. 0-2 quickly.
Bailey yet to have a multi-hit performance this summer for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and he's had 4 multi-strikeout games. Only 2 games thus far where he's not struck out more than 2 times.
Including a 0-for-4 performance against Brewster on Monday. 0-2. Sails high at the letters, 1-2. And for Reed Mooring, settling in is key here for a Cotuit team. It is last in the CCBL in runs scored with 10. 1-2. Breaking ball just misses the upper corner. Deuces are wild to Miles Bailey. 2 outs, no one aboard for Bailey. It's the top of the third inning. His Harbor Hawks lead the Kettleers 2-1. Kick and a deal. Breaking ball in for strike 3. 3 up and 3 down for Reed Mooring. It's Williamson down with a K. Rembert ground out. Bailey strikeout looking. To the bottom of the third we go here in Cotuit. It's 2-1 Harbor Hawks.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Time for the bottom of the third here at Lowell Park. It's 2-1 Harbor Hawks. The first inning home run from Chris Rembert for Hyannis. And in the last inning, the Kettleers send 6 consecutive lefties to the plate to face the left-hander Trey Beard. An error, a walk, and a single plate the first run of the day for Cotuit, a team that scored a CCBL, rather a mark that's last in the Cape Cod Baseball League with just their 11th run of the season. They trail Orleans by 10 runs. That's the next closest team to them, Graham. This is a Kettleer team that has struggled along the base paths, and Beard needs to settle in for Hyannis here if he's going to keep this.
On paper, looks like the clear favorite.
And a first ball to Ryan Farber misses inside, or rather clips the inner corner, 0-1.
But those things just, it's not true. You know, anything can happen in sports, anything can happen in baseball, and Cotuit could find something out of nowhere.
Beard's offering is smoked to the shortstop Schaffner. He scoops it on a hop and fires to first in time for the out. 1 up, 1 down for Beard. That's exactly how he started the last inning with a fly out for Nolan Stevens before 4 of the next 5 Kettleers reach base to the tune of 1 run scored.
And that's very important right there for Beard. He was at 33 pitches entering the inning. So getting a quick out, 2 pitches thrown, that's huge for him and if the Harbor Hawks want to keep him in.
Up comes one of the lone righties in the lineup, Jack Natilli. He takes a first pitch breaking ball on the outer corner for a strike.
I believe all 3 first outs of each inning have come on the first pitch of each at bat for Beard.
Next pitch is low and inside. Check swing, rather. 0-2. Quickly for Jack Matilli, who struck out to end the first inning his last time facing Beard. Beard on his way to USA training camp. He deals an 0-2 and picks up a second K. 2 of the same batter. Matilli strikes out in the first and the third, 2 down here in the bottom half of the third inning.
Well, this is more what we saw in the bottom of the first. 2 very quick outs. It took him a while to get that second out in the bottom of the second. 5 batters to get the second out. This time it takes 2.
Beard looking to flank the damage with 1, 2, 3 innings. Up comes Nolan Stevens to extend it for Cotuit. The lefty batting for a second time this game. He slices one foul, third base side out of play. Well, Trey Beard, as I began to mention, on his way to Team USA baseball training camp in Cary, North Carolina, joining the likes of Miles Bailey and Chris Rembert from Hyannis. He's ready from the stretch. His 0-1 sails beneath the knees of Stevens. A ball and a strike. Beard retoes the bump, peers down for a moment, has his sign from Lackey. A long hold, now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Healthy cut at a breaking ball from Stevens. And Beard's a strike away here in the third.
And he hasn't been down in an at-bat yet in this inning. That's where he's used to being. That's where he was in the first. In the second, all of a sudden he was down.
Beard trying to escape the inning. The 1-2. Stevens loses the bat. Foul ball back to the netting.
Back
do the
coming
1-2
for
again.
us.
It clanks off the chain link fence here at Lowell Park. Colored green. As is a lot of the aesthetic here at a beautiful ballpark dubbed by the PA announcer as the Cape's Field of Dreams. And it certainly exudes that with clean-cut grass and a nice atmosphere. No lights at Lowell Park. Wooden stands surround the diamond. Infield slightly shifts the lefty to pull. With 2 outs and no one on, the 1-2. Sails high and at the head of Stevens, not quite inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, let's see him use that miss to his advantage. Maybe see a heater up in the zone to play off the high breaking ball.
Beard shakes off the first sign from Lackey. Now has it. The 2-2. Smoked towards Rembert on a weird hop. It takes him to a knee, but he gathers, fires, and ends the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Beard. For the second time this game, he is out of the third quickly. We could see him come out for the fourth before he heads to Cary with Team USA. But to the top half of the fourth we go here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. It's 2-1 Hyannis.
With doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook entails doing this camp. Just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Turn the scorebook to the fourth inning for the Kettleers. And it's 6-7-8 coming to the dish for Hyannis, beginning with the third baseman, Ray Velasquez. The righty was absent from the lineup last night, and he's had an incredible start to the season. He came into the game a night ago, leading the Harbor Hawks an average at .389, before a 4-for-4 performance from Chris Rembert put him at .412 to lead the team. Faces Mooring for a second time to begin the fourth. First pitch, swing and a miss, and quickly down 0-1.
Velasquez, he's had a hit in every game that he's played. That's 5 straight and multi-hit performances in 2 of the 5. Easily has been the most consistent bat, I'd say, for the Harbor Hawks early.
He struck out in his first appearance here. 0-1 pitch, clips the outer corner for a strike. 0-2 to Velasquez, and 91 miles per hour on the heater from Reed Mooring, who's really settled in after early trouble. It was a 2-run first-inning homer from Chris Rembert that put the Hyannis ahead. His
action, he's got a really solid 3-strike approach. You see him grip up a little bit on the bat, keeps it really short, and that time he was just able to extend far enough to get the breaking ball.
Well, that one off the end of the bat. Wouldn't be surprised if he plays the breaking ball at the changeup here because he'd be so early cueing that one.
No one out, no one aboard. Mooring has his sign. Velasquez digs in for an 0-2. Kicking a deal. Check swing, it's a strike anyway. And that retires Velasquez. A second strikeout for the Austin P. Governor. 1 down here in the 4th.
Velasquez has one of those pucks on the bottom of his bat. I don't know if I haven't noticed that before on his bat. I thought that Ryan McKay was the only Harbor Hawk that used it. So I think that's the first time I've seen it.
Up comes the lefty, Charlie Bates. First ball to him, drifts inside. It's 1-0. Ryan McKay told me that he hasn't been late to a single pitch all year long with that little green ad at the butt of the bat. And now Velasquez taking after him. 1-0 is chopped past the pitcher Mooring to the second baseman Advincula. He flips it to first in time for the out. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for Mooring. He gets Velasquez with his 4th strikeout of the day, and Bates with a soft tapper to Advincula at second.
And Mooring just inducing weak contact. That's what you love to see if you're a Kettleers fan, kind of reducing the possible threat for the Harbor Hawk bats.
Here's Von Lackey with 2 outs and no one on. In the top of the 4th, Hyannis has a 2-1 lead over Cotuit. Lackey 0 for 1 today with a flyout. First pitch to him is inside with a fastball. 1-0. Lackey may be 0 for 1 at the plate, but he's 1 for 1 on foul balls behind the plate. That may be incredibly rare, sound incredibly rare, folks, because it is. 1-0 pitch. Drifts inside, misses the outer corner, the inner corner rather. 2-0. Lackey springs out of his crouch on a foul ball from Ryan Farber, just the second batter of the game. Dives full extension in front of the on-deck circle by the third base line. The 2-0. Skips in the dirt to the catcher, Lavin. And Lackey made the grab as he fell to his face. Add it to our Sports Center segment, Graham.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a top play.
The Best of the Nest premiering on Sunday. Mooring's 3-0 ball is a strike right down Broadway with a fastball at 90 miles per hour. And Lackey's got a hitter's count at 3-1.
Red light for Lackey the whole way. He was going to make Mooring show him a strike, and he did just that. So expect a green here.
3-1 pitch is lifted in the air high and deep to right field. On it, Stevens. He flashes the leather at the track and ends the inning. How about 6 up and 6 down from Reed Mooring in the last 2 innings? He's amassed 3 strikeouts in that span. He gets one this inning of Ray Velasquez, a ground out for Charlie Bates, and a flyout for Von Lackey to end it. The Cotuit starter maneuvering through the Hyannis Harbor Hawk order as we head to the bottom of the 4th. The Hawks ahead 2-1.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Park 2-1, the Hyannis lead as Trey Beard retoes the rubber to face 5, 6, and 7 in the Kettleer order. This is where the damage started for Trey Beard. Case Sanderson, who's about to come to the plate, the first of 5 lefties to end the batting order for Cotuit manager Lauren Hibbs. He reached on an error committed by Miles Bailey's, a throw down to Trey Beard covering the first base bag. A quick walk to Easton Winfield in 4 pitches. Then, as RBI base knock from Luke Lavin to get Cotuit on the board at long last. And up comes Sanderson, trying to lift a Cotuit team that is dead last in the Cape League in runs, with just 11 this season, including the one today, over a Hyannis team that leads the West Division at 3-2-1. A brief stoppage prior to the first pitch of the count as Vaughn Lackey has dropped his chest pad and his helmet along with his mitt, trying to readjust something over his jersey. Out comes hitting coach Sean Riley to help him out. He'll retie it in the front with his pitch comm fully removed. Now being replugged in by Sean Riley. As Beard waits atop the bump and Sanderson watches on from the lefty box.
Only an 11-pitch last inning for Trey Beard. We said it was going to have to be quick if he wanted to get back on the mound in the 4th, and he got exactly that. The first inning and the 3rd were so similar. The second has been a wild outlier for him so far.
Sanderson digs in for a first ball from Beard in this 4th inning. Here it comes. It clips the inner corner with a strike, for a strike, with an 88-mile-per-hour fastball. 0-1.
That's really hard to track as a left-handed hitter, especially going left on left with a front door pitch like that.
Beard's 0-1. Is tapped off the mound, a weird hop past a sliding Schaffner. He boots it into center field, and Sanderson is aboard for the 2nd consecutive at-bat, this time with no one out in the bottom of the 4th inning.
It didn't look like he hit it too hard. It just kind of came off the bat with a fire, but he just threw his hands at it, was able to get the bat on the ball, and it rifled off right up in that gap where there's no one right at the second base bag, so that definitely helped, but a very interesting swing to lead off the inning.
Ricocheted off the mound just by Jake Schaffner. Here's Easton Winfield, the lefty. He squares to bunt, and the breaking ball goes low. It's 1-0 to the center fielder. Sanderson on first after the single. No one out. At the bottom of the 4th, Cotuit has the tying run aboard in Sanderson. They trail Hyannis 2-1. 1-0 pitch. Shot foul to the backstop. 1-1. Luke Lavin waits on deck. He's got the RBI single in the 2nd for Cotuit's lone run. Winfield steps out of the left-handed batter's box and towards the dugout. Exchanges signs with his manager, Lauren Hibbs. Now he digs back in and angles his cream-colored bat behind his navy blue helmet. Squares to bunt again on the 1-1. He taps it down the third base line. Velasquez on the hop, throws it to first in time for the out. As that advances Sanderson to second. There is one down here in the bottom of the 4th.
And a smart play by Velasquez. He only had that one play at first base. No point in attempting it at second, and got the sure out at first. And not an easy play nonetheless.
It was a really good throw on the run. That was not an easy play, like you said, Max, especially because Winfield was kind of covering his path to first.
He slings it sidearm to Miles Bailey on first base. It's a sacrifice bunt for Winfield. He's the first out of the inning. Here's the lefty Luke Lavin. A catcher with an RBI single last time to the plate. He's got Sanderson on second. First ball to him is inside, clips the inner corner with a strike. 0-1 to Lavin. Trying to bring home a 2nd RBI this young Cape League season. He digs in from the lefty box. Beard looks back at second. Set from the stretch, he deals. Fastball inside, clips the inner black again. 0-2 to the catcher. Since Beard's already faced above the minimum, Cam Johnson will come to the plate. Third baseman waits on deck, and he watches as Beard nods for his sign. Peers at second, Schaffner covering the shortstop. 0-2. Shot foul. We'll do the 0-2 again.
This is a very, very important at-bat. Trey Beard yet to allow an earned run. I'm sure he's not thinking about that, but just in the sense of it would tie the ball game if Lavin was able to get something out of the infield, and that's when Cotuit can catch Hyannis because, again, Hyannis' bats have gone cold.
Beard looking for a third K. He's ahead 0-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and he's got it. A third strikeout of the day. The last two have come swinging. This time it's Luke Lavin who takes the walk to the dugout. A pair of outs here at the bottom of the fourth.
Good old-fashioned Blue Bayou pitch. The heater got him swinging. Lavin was real late to that one. And that's the Trey Beard that we have seen in this summer season so far. Just peppering the zone, getting ahead in counts. Now with 2 outs, he can get more comfortable.
Up comes the lefty Camden Johnson. Squares the bunt, backs off it as the ball drifts inside. He shuffles out of the way. It's 1-0.
Beard really likes that inside corner, and the reason why is it sets up the entire at-bat for more tunnel pitches. You can always start every pitch on the inner half, and it's going to give trouble to the hitters.
Johnson, the rising junior, at Wichita State, the alma mater of his manager, Lauren Hibbs. Squares the bunt on the 0-1 and taps it foul to the backstop. 1-1. A native of the Lone Star State from Bern, Texas. And he came out of high school the number 500 player nationally by perfect game. He took college baseball by storm his true freshman season. He slashed .326, .389, and .414. 32 RBIs. All AAC freshman. 1-1. Right over the heart for a strike. 1-2 as Beard is a strike away from escaping the fourth inning without any damage. It'd be his second straight scoreless inning after some damage in the second. Johnson ready from the lefty box. Beard with a long hold, a nod for his sign, a glance at second. From the stretch, he deals. This one's shot towards Bailey, first base side. The first baseman takes it himself. He chugs into the bag with the out, and that ends the fourth inning. Trey Beard faces one above the minimum in the fourth inning, en route to his second consecutive scoreless frame, and Hyannis clings to a 2-1 lead over Cotuit as we head to the fifth here at Lowell Park.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Time for the top of the fifth here at Lowell Park, and Reed Mooring's day is done. The righty starter for Cotuit gives way to another right-hander, Preston Crowell, rising junior out of Virginia Tech and the native of Wirtz, Virginia. Comes in for what is his first appearance as a Kettleer and on the Cape, as he just got here this week, folks. And he will face a difficult part of the Hyannis order. It's the 9-hole hitter Jake Schaffner, the shortstop, will flip the order for Matt Mura, the center fielder, and the DH Jackson Willits, the two-man, will also come up in this inning. On the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, it's 2-1 Hyannis after Trey Beard faces just one above the minimum in his last 2 innings of work to can maintain the 1-run advantage for his Harbor Hawks. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg with you here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network from Lowell Park. And Max, it was a pretty solid start for Reed Mooring. Early damage, be able to settle in and deliver 3 scoreless frames in a row.
And tip your cap when it's due. You know, it was really tough having to settle in after the leadoff 2-run home run, but then against a tough Hyannis offense, he was able to come back. We talked about it this last week. The most important pitch is the next pitch, the next play, and he truly turned the page and turned it into a nice outing.
Crowell ready atop the bump. His Kettleers trail Hyannis 2-1 as up comes the lefty swinging Jay Schaffner. First pitch. Drifts outside, 1-0. Fastball clocks at 92 for Preston Crowell. And Schaffner taps the dish with his all-black bat. The incoming Tar Heel transfers in from North Dakota State. The 1-0. Misses inside with a breaking ball. 2-0.
Gio, Jake Schaffner, the last Hyannis Harbor Hawk to get a hit in this ball game. That was back in the second. They've been held hitless for their last 8 batters. Schaffner trying to change that after a really hot start at the plate.
2-0. Right down Broadway for strike one. And I'll correct myself, folks, I'm reading the wrong stats. This is Crowell's second appearance, 4 innings pitched, and I'm looking at it again. Just 1 game, 2 strikeouts for the Cats as Schaffner fouls it off. So second appearance now for Crowell, the rising junior out of Virginia Tech, Max, and a chance to come back to the plate after just 2 strikeouts in 4 innings.
Absolutely, and that's what the Cape League is all about. Able to really show your best stuff. Third baseman Johnson, even with the cut after that drag bunt.
No one out, no one on here in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch to Schaffner is upstairs. It's 2-1 Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks have out-hit the Kettleers 3-2. But another theme, Graham, that Coach Carricker touched on pregame was the 3rd number in that scoreboard, the errors. It's 1-0 Hyannis in that regard. 3-2 is upstairs, and Schaffner works a walk. First batter to face the new pitcher. He's on board with no one out.
And the errors are really the only area where Hyannis has allowed teams to come back thus far in the season. They don't walk too many teams on the pitching side. Their batting has been good. It's the errors that have allowed, specifically, look at yesterday, Wareham back into the game. That's what they have to keep to a minimum.
Crowell looks back at Schaffner at first as up comes Matt Mura. And he shoots this to second base. A clutch from Advincula. First throw to second for 1. Over to first. Safe. Just 1 out at second base of Schaffner for Jaron Advincula. And the throw from Farber to try and turn 2 late. And trade runners at first, and there's 1 down in the 5th.
And I can't emphasize it enough. The hustle from Matt Mura, one of the reasons why he's been reaching so consistently, even if it doesn't come off the benefit of a base hit, that time on the fielder's choice. And that's exactly what you're looking for from your leadoff man.
Switch hitting DH Jackson Willits comes to the plate for a 3rd time today, batting from the left side. 1 out and a man aboard in Matt Mura. Crowell's first ball. Sails upstairs. It's 1-0. For Willits, today's start is a reversal of recent trends. A couple of groundouts after he got on base in each of his first 2 at-bats in the last 2 games. Mira dives back after a late pickoff attempt from Crowell.
Yeah, Willits, he's been putting it in play, but it's all been on the ground. He hasn't been able to get anything up. He's been on top of every ball, shooting it straight into the grass. So he's just got to get a little bit more elevation.
Another check at first and another safe Matt Mura as he dives in behind the throw. Or in front of it, rather. The sun beginning to creep beneath the trees over the third base side. 1-0 pitch, Mura goes. The throw down from Lavin is into center field. It's booted by Ryan Farber, the shortstop coming over to cover, and Mura swipes the bag. He moves into scoring position with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and Hyannis leading 2-1.
Mura runs so furiously that time his helmet just fell clean off. It wasn't even like he pushed it off. Sometimes, the helmet will bounce and a player will toss it off. He just took off so quickly that it literally flipped off his head. He runs with so much effort, kind of like an Isaiah Pacheco.
I was about to bring that up. It runs like he's angry at the ground.
Yeah.
Willits is ahead 2-0. Clean white cleats in the lefty box. A 2-0 ball. Sails outside, and he's ahead 3-0 on Preston Crowell.
And with that stolen base, Mura becomes the team leader at 3 in the early going.
Mura leads off the 3-0 to Willits. Sails outside, and another walk. A walk, a reach on a fielder's choice, and another walk. This time it's Jackson Willits, 2 on with 1 out here in the 5th.
4th walk of the day for Cotuit pitching staff. That's how Hyannis works their way back into the games when the bats aren't working. They have drawn so many walks over the course of the first couple games. It's kind of unbelievable. 2 in 1 inning for Preston Crowell, not how he wanted to start. Mooring only threw 2 through his 4 innings of work. So that's got to clean up. They got to make sure that the walks don't continue to increase, just like Hyannis is trying to prevent the errors from increasing.
Brief mound visit between Luke Lavin and Preston Crowell. And now concludes as the battery mate walks back to behind the dish. I'll get you the final line for Reed Morning, the starting pitcher for Cotuit. If I can find it here. 4 innings pitch, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts with the home run to Rembert as Andrew Williamson takes a first pitch ball lowered at the knees. All in all, just with the early damage, Max, and those 2 earned runs, both coming in the first inning with 1 swing of the bat from Rembert, a pretty solid start. Here's Crowell's 1-0. It's lifted high and deep foul territory, third base side, and out of play.
And one of the reasons why these guys are here on the Cape is their ability to turn the page. Of course, they're all talented, but they have the mental aspect, the maturity that is so hard to come by in this game of baseball, and it's what separates players to make it to the CCBL.
Crowell ready from the stretch. He's got the mitt at his left pec as he shakes off the first side from Lavin. 2 aboard and 1 out for Hyannis. Williamson at the plate. The pitch. Another slice foul third base side, 1-2.
Right now, it's like an odd cloud cover. It's probably made worse by my sunglasses now that I'm thinking about it. But still, it's such like an old-timey feel to go along with the old-timey ballpark.
Dubbed the Cape's Field of Dreams. The infield shifts the lefty to pull. 1-2. Is chopped towards second. He flips to second for 1. The throw on to first. On in time. He's safe at first base. Andrew Williamson legs it out. That's a second double play denied by quick running from Hyannis. And there are 2 outs, though, in the top of the 5th.
And look who you got coming up to the plate. Chris Rembert. Hyannis has their guy.
It moves Matt Mura to third base, 90 feet away from a third run. The only prior runs in this game came in the first inning off 1 swing of the bat. Goes Williamson, and no throw from Lavin as Rembert takes a first pitch ball.
Smart. They were never going to try to make that throw. A couple have already gone into the outfield, so Lavin's smart to just frame that pitch, try to get the strike, and let Williamson get himself into scoring position.
Mura 90 feet away. 1-0. Chopped right back by the pitcher Crowell to the shortstop Farber. He throws to first, and this time they get him. A couple of twin killings denied for Cotuit by the speedy Hyannis Harbor Hawks base runners. But they leave Mura 90 feet away and Williamson on second base. The score remains 2-1, headed to the bottom half of the 5th here at Lowell Park. Bottom of the 5th at Lowell Park. It's a 2-1 Hyannis lead, and it ends the day for Trey Beard, the lefty, who faced just 1 above the minimum in his final 2 innings of work and put the Kettleers down 1-2-3 in the first. Just some damage in the second for Trey Beard. He gives way to the 6'7", 225-pound righty Carson Yassa. A rising redshirt sophomore from Nebraska makes his 2nd appearance of the summer. The Cornhusker last pitched in Chatham on Tuesday. Just a couple of innings, a hit, a run allowed, it was earned, a couple of walks, and 3 Ks. for the righty, Graham, that tops out at 97 miles per hour on the clock.
Yeah, he's got some real heat. That fastball is beautiful. I'm sure that's what we're going to see early on in these first couple at bats. Again, locate the fastball, go from there, but he's been a closer for the majority of this season at Wareham, and then at Cotuit, he came in the very later innings, so an interesting spot for the righty.
And not only is it the fastball, it's the height. 6'7", and you're throwing in the upper 90s. And we talked about the stride earlier in the season. Instead of releasing the baseball 60 foot 6 inches away, he might be releasing it 53 feet away with the big wingspan.
Yasa will face 9-1 and 2 for the Cats, beginning with the left fielder Andrew Wiggins, one of 5 lefties to round out the order for Cotuit skipper Lauren Hibbs. He's up for a second time today after walking in the second, and he's the first Kettleer to face the new pitcher Yasa. The first ball to him, sails outside, 96 miles per hour on the gun, but it's 1-0.
Wiggins had such a disciplined first plate appearance, drew a walk after going down in the count. He's got great eye, a great eye.
1-0 pitch across the letters. It's upstairs for a second ball at 97. Doesn't look like 97. Of course, I've never played baseball like you have, Max, but it's just softly hitting the glove of Von Lackey. 2-0. Sails low, and it's 3-0.
Going to see an auto take right here.
1 at 96, the last 2 at 97 for the hard-throwing Yasa. His 3-0 is a strike, and there's the sound of the glove at 97. 3-1 now to Andrew Wiggins. He's the first batter of the bottom of the fifth. It's 2-1 Hyannis here at Lowell Park. Yasa with a breath, now the pitch. And this one's low as well. 2 at-bats, or rather 2 plate appearances for Andrew Wiggins, and he is aboard with no one out here in the fifth.
Well, he was more than happy to take those walks. He's used to being a leadoff guy, so he's used to just needing to get on first. He's used to that being his job. Kind of serves as a pseudo second leadoff guy for this Cotuit team.
Wiggins played at Indiana this past spring, the current school of our own Graham Nash. And led off for the Hoosiers, but he's in the transfer portal seeking a new home. Flip the order to Jaron Advincula. First ball to him, laced right back at Yasa. He goes to second for 1, throws it outside Schaffner, who nearly brings his trail foot off the bag. That will retire Wiggins. It does allow Advincula to reach as he legs it out.
It was a really weird situation. I think Wiggins was kind of shielded by Yasa from the view. He thought Yasa caught it on the fly, and so he stayed over at first to not get caught over at that bag, but it hit the ground.
It just entered Yasa's mitt momentarily, dropped to the top of the hill, and he threw it to second. Here's Ryan Farber, the lefty. The first pitch to him, sails above his letters, 1-0. That one's at 96 as Advincula leads off of first. The second baseman, the Cape League batting champion a year ago, and an all-star with the Kettleers. Back here at Lowell Park for his second summer. 1-0 is just high of the zone. 2-0. Yasa has dished 4 straight balls, rather 4 out of 5 balls, including that one to Ryan Farber. The lefty sets back into the box, playing shortstop today and batting second. He's 0 for 2 entering this at-bat. With 1 out and a man aboard, Yasa's 2-0 offering. Skips into Lackey, block with the chest plate. It's again 3-0 to a Cotuit batter. Yasa walked Andrew Wiggins on 4 pitches last time this happened.
I think that's the first breaking ball we've seen from Yasa. He's just been going heater, 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 heater. That time he changed it up, and it bounced well in front of the plate in the dirt.
3-0 pitch, dots the zone for a strike. A couple of 3-0 trails early for Yasa to 3-1 with commanding fastballs.
That doesn't help against a team that has been hitting pretty well. 2 hits on the day. They've been finding ways to get on base.
3-1. Swung down and shoots it foul. Farber able to stay alive.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see another fastball here because, as you mentioned, Graham, he tried the breaking ball, wasn't able to get it in for a strike. If he's got the best feel for the fastball, that's what he's going to go with.
Farber takes a lap outside the lefty box and now steps back in. He rests the bat on his left shoulder and now brings it just in front of his pectoral. 1 out and a man on and Advincula on first. The 3-2, off goes the runner. Lackey catches the strike 3. The throw to the plate is in time. It's a second base tag out for Jake Schaffner. Strike him out, throw him out. It didn't matter. There were 2 outs anyway. Rather, there was just 1 out, so that did matter a whole lot. It's a double play, and Farber goes down at the strikeout as Advincula caught stealing along the base paths. An eventful way to send us to the top of the 6th. He goes 3 up and 3 down in relief of Trey Beard. Carson Yassa maintains the 2-1 lead for Hyannis.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Back here at Lowell Park, it's time for the top of the 6th. It's a 2-1 Hyannis lead here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg. We've got some trivia for you here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Folks, we want to know how many miles are between Lowell Park and McKeon Park. So McKeon Park back home in Hyannis, Lowell Park here in Cotuit. Graham, I'm going to eliminate you from this competition because you drove it.
I did.
So you should know this, unless your memory fails you, which I sure hope it doesn't for your sake.
Even if I'm wrong, I want to say that it shouldn't be that weird because I was looking at minutes more than miles, to my credit.
Preston Crowell's first ball to Miles Bailey, a strike, rather a ball on the outside corner.
Was it a 40-minute drive?
I don't know.
I would give the viewer the listener some information they can use to cheat. Crowell's 1-0 pitch. Right this time right down Broadway for strike 1 of the count. It's 5, 6, and 7 to the plate in the top of the 6th for Hyannis, leading the Kettleers 2-1. And Crowell, the new pitcher, in relief of Reed Mooring. His 1-1. A breaking ball, misses outside. It's 2-1.
Any guesses, Max?
I think I'm going to go 8.6 miles. So what is that, option B? I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but.
Do we have options?
That was option A.
Oh.
Okay.
Or rather, no, it was indeed option B.
I didn't know we had options.
2-1 outside. It's 3-1 to Miles Bailey. 1 for 2 today with a single in the first and a strikeout in the third. Hyannis has not scored since Chris Rembert's 2-run homer in the first inning. His second such homer in the last 2 days. 3-1 is torched down the first base line. It's booted by the first baseman Sanderson as Bailey chugs into first easily. We'll see how that's scored, but it's got Bailey aboard with nobody out here in the 6th.
It was a really hard-hit ball that was skipping. That's why it was such a hard play. It skipped right underneath the glove of Sanderson over at first base. It's not like it was one of those choppers that took a weird high hop. That the entire way was just kind of skidding. It was mowing the lawn over to first base, and they call it an error.
So it's an E3 on Sanderson. Here's Ray Velasquez, the second batter to face Crowells in the 6th. The first ball. Fastball that misses inside. It's 1-0 to Ray Velasquez. The Austin P. Governor has a pair of strikeouts today. A righty playing third. Back in the lineup after a night off yesterday against Wareham. Bailey creeps off at first. Crowells gives him a look. The 1-0. Breaking ball, loops in for a strike. 1-1 to Ray Velasquez. Graham, you called him the most consistent hitter in this Hyannis order, and that would not be an overstatement. Entered yesterday's game, the team's leader in average at 389. 1-1 pitch. Another breaking ball and another strike. 1-2 to Velasquez.
He's been incredible. He's gotten a hit in every game, 2 multi-hit performances, but he's struggled in this one. 2 strikeouts for his 2 at-bats. He's just got to make contact. If he can put the bat on the ball, good things will happen for him.
Nobody out. Bailey on first. The 1-2. Upstairs at the letters, 2-2 to Ray Velasquez.
Expecting to see one of those 12-6 breaking balls now. You go with the high heat, start one in a similar spot, get it to dive. Those are the ones that get the batter out in front or freeze them because they think it's that ball up and high.
Crowells has levied 2 of them in this at-bat alone. 2-2 pitch. He's smoked towards short. He goes to second for 1. Farber turned to first in time, and there's their double play. Cotuit gets 2 outs early in this inning after a couple of chances at a double play in the 5th. And now 2 outs and nobody on for Charlie Bates.
And you got to credit the pitching staff for the Kettleers. They're pitching to their advantage. They see they have a runner on base. They're going down in the zone. That one, a slider on the outer half, gets the rollover. They're really choosing their pitches methodically.
Crowells takes a deep breath atop the bump as the lefty Bates comes to the dish for a 3rd time in this game. First pitch. Right down Broadway with a fastball, 0-1. Bates lined out to short in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th. The infield shifts the lefty slightly to pull. 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. This time it's outside. And count levels a ball and a strike.
Bates struggled early with his bat. He was not very happy with his contact, was talking a lot with Mitch Carricker, but he's gotten it in a better spot.
Swings through the 1-1. And now Crowell's a strike away.
He's had 2 multi-hit performances back-to-back. Adam, 3 for 4 against Wareham, so something's working.
Crowells comes set from the stretch, glove at his belt. 2 outs, no one on. The pitch. A fast outside, and Bates stays alive.
Really good take. That's one of those fastballs that just kind of squirts to the right. It started in the middle and then moved, and Bates stayed pretty still. He didn't bite.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hyannis holds a 2-1 lead over Cotuit. The pitch. Fouled back towards the Kettleer dugout. And Bates stays alive. We'll do the 2-2 again.
He's a hard out. Bates has been one of the harder outs to get in this season so far. He's gotten on base in 2 in a row. He's gotten a hit in 3 of 4. He's just stingy. He just sticks in these counts.
Bates waves his bat towards the pitcher Crowells, who puts his hand in his glove, has it at his belt. A breath, now the 2-2. A sliced foul, third base side. We'll do it again.
Just such a pesky hitter, as you mentioned, Graham. And it just shows that this bottom half of the lineup for Mitch Carricker, kind of dangerous. That pseudo leadoff last 3 hitters. There's really no holes throughout the starting 9.
Bates steps out briefly and reassumes his position in the lefty box. From the stretch, here's Crowells. Fastball right down the heart, strike 3. It's his first punch out of the game. He freezes Bates with a fastball, and he goes 3 up and 3 down in the 6th with the help from his infield, turning the double play after Miles Bailey's leadoff single. To the top, or to the bottom of the 6th we go, as it'll be the Harbor Hawks trying to hold on to this 2-1 lead.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Bottom of the 6th on deck here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. It's the Harbor Hawks with a 2-1 advantage over the Kettleers, the latter of whom trying to erase a 1-5 start to the season, or, for lack of a better term, turn it around as they struggle to start against West Division opponent Hyannis. A 2-run home run from Chris Rembert in the first inning gave the Harbor Hawks the early lead. Cotuit battled back in that second, yet the two teams' offenses have gone stale ever since. No scoring in the remaining frames, and the Kettleers will look to Jack Natilli, the 3-hole hitter, Nolan Stevens, and Cade Sanderson to turn it around, trailing Hyannis by a run. Here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, Max Schwartzberg with you. It's Carson Yassa atop the bump. The 6'7", typically a closer for Mitch Carricker, but he relieves Trey Beard after 4 innings. And he faces Jack Natilli, the righty DH, first batter in the 6th. A breath, now down the kick and deal. He hits him in the head. Dropped the bat, he seems to be okay. He walks with his head down, dropping his protective gear en route to first base with a first pitch walk here in the 6th.
Well, the command for Yassa, a little bit shaky since coming in relief. Had that leadoff walk to Wiggins, but then kind of pitched in and out of trouble within at bats to get those final 2 outs, but then he starts out this inning with a hit batsman.
So no one out, no one aboard. Or no outs, one aboard for Nolan Stevens as I finally spit it out. Yassa fires a first pitch ball. Stevens, the right fielder, 0 for 2 today out of Mississippi State. The rising sophomore was a highly touted recruit. 1-0 pitch. Misses inside. 96 on the gun for Yassa. I'll retract that statement. He was not a highly touted recruit. Number 500 nationally. Who came onto the scene at Mississippi State. 2-0. Lackey springs out of his crouch as it's in for ball 3. Low misses at the knees. I mix up the outs and innings, and I've mixed up my notes again, guys. Highly sought-after recruit indeed. Number 2 in the nation at first base. Number 69 overall for the Bulldogs. 3-0's upstairs, and he takes ball 4. So a hit batsman and a batter walked within 2 batters in the 6th for Carson Yassa.
It's the 4th walk of the day for Hyannis pitching staff, an unusually high number. They had quite a few in yesterday's ball game as well. And it backs up a hit by pitch, so pretty much 5 free bases that the Harbor Hawks have given up.
Yeah, 5 walks yesterday, Graham.
Second walk of the day for Carson Yassa, and here's Case Sanderson, whose reached on an error in the second inning to get it started for Cotuit, as they're down 2-1 here in the 6th. First pitch to him, he shows bunt, lays off it. Lackey springs out of his crouch. It's 1-0 to the lefty first baseman for Cotuit.
And it's imperative that he starts filling up the zone. And we've talked about it, preferably down in the zone. Try to roll 2 right here with an opportunity, nobody out.
This is a Cornhusker versus a Cornhusker as Yassa faces his teammate, Case Sanderson. Appears back at second, now dishes. Shows bunt again, it drifts at his feet, and it's 2-0.
It's now 6 straight balls thrown by Yassa. Just really not too comfortable. Wouldn't be surprised if Lackey comes out if he throws another one.
2 aboard, no one out in the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-1 Hyannis. Sanderson set in the lefty box. Rather digs in as Yassa set atop the bump. 2-0. Shows bunt again. This time Lackey will throw down. He caught the man sleeping, and he gets the out at second. Heads up baseball from Schaffner. He taps on the bag, and that retires the hit batsman Natilli. Just 1 aboard with no one out. Or with 1 out now.
Lackey is so dangerous behind the plate. Absolute rifle. He popped up a couple times earlier just to kind of threaten and make sure that the batters returned to their base, and they didn't. So he was like, all right, I'll fire one over there, and he got him.
3-0 pitch. This is inside. Late no call. At 97 miles per hour, doesn't matter. Yassa sent another one to the base paths.
21, Easton Winfield, center fielder.
And here's Easton Winfield, a lefty playing center field today. He's had a sacrifice bunt in his last time up, but reached with a walk in the second. Wasn't plated. It was the guy ahead of him, Cade Sanderson, who's on first base. That's Cotuit's only run. They trail Hyannis by 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch to him from Yasa. A strike right down the heart. At 99 on the clock. 0-1.
Wow, that's the fastest we've seen from him. 99.
And all year long at that. Topped out at 97 at Chatham on Tuesday, his lone other appearance here on the Cape. The Cornhusker sets in, peers back at second, now throws. A show bunt from Winfield as it skips into Lackey, and it's 1-1.
Just doesn't have a feel for the breaking ball. Seems like the fastball only consistent on 3-0, but the breaking ball before we get to that count, just nothing showing for it within the zone, and that's going to be dangerous for Yasa if he can't figure that out.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, 2 men aboard. Taps this towards Bailey, turns and throws to second for 1. Schaffner can only step on the bag with no throw to first. Winfield beats it out. The trade runners at first base with Case Sanderson, and that brings up Luke Lavin, who's driven in the only run of the day for Cotuit, an RBI single in the 2nd. And he's got runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Well, there's a missed opportunity for Hyannis. Yasa was very delayed in getting off the mound. Could not turn 2 for the 3-6-1.
Moves Nolan Stevens to third. As I mentioned, Sanderson tapped out by Schaffner at second base, and Winfield reaches on the fielder's choice. Yasa ready, a first ball to Lavin. Clips the inner corner, fastball at 96, 0-1.
Very productive out from Winfield. Again, only a 1-run game. Cotuit, they've had a lot of chances, but they haven't been able to get that runner the 90 feet needed to cross home plate. So, a very big out for Cotuit, as funny as it sounds.
0-1. Breaking ball loops in for a strike. Yasa's not gone to that pitch very often, Max. It works for him there.
Just going to say the exact same thing, Gio. There you go, kid. Get a good feel for that. Now he's got a couple more pitches in his back pocket.
He's a strike away from working himself out of trouble he worked himself into. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. The pitch. Off goes the runner at first. It doesn't matter. Swing through it. Luke Lavin down a strikeout. It's Yasa's 2nd of the game. He ends both innings he's pitched thus far with K's. Still 2-1 Hyannis headed to the 7th.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Time for the 7th inning here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. It's still 2-1 Hyannis, folks. Been that way since the 2nd inning as Cotuit fired one back after a Chris Rembert home run in the 1st inning. A 2-run shot over the left center field wall for Rembert. And now a new pitcher comes to the bump for Cotuit. It was Preston Crowells taking the 2 innings in relief of Morning, the starter, who went 4 innings, and now Tyler Albanese, the right-hander from San Jose State, takes his spot. A rising junior from Redlands, California, stands at 6'6", 237. Not quite the 6'7" Carson Yasa we just saw pitch for Hyannis, but he's got an imposing stature atop the bump. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 for Hyannis as he finishes up his warm-up pitches here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg with you, Diamond Side at Lowell Park. It's 2-1 Hyannis, folks. And Graham, a note coming into the game was just how good Hyannis pitching staff has been at punching out batters regardless of the result. They got 13 last night despite the 6-run loss to Wareham. Tonight, only 5 entering the 7th.
Yeah, they've come really slow, which is surprising because it started out hot. It started out with Trey Beard getting 1 in the bottom of the first. They looked like they were right on track to get more and more strikeouts, but then it was a slow second inning for the pitching. The third, they got another. The fourth, they've just had 1 in every inning, which is unusual. We're used to seeing, 1 every inning with a second sprinkled in somewhere. It just hasn't been that. They've had to get outs other ways. They've been doing a really good job pitching to contact, which is as important as getting the strikeouts. But yeah, after 2 straight days of 13 Ks, it's a little bit of a different look.
Albanese's first ball to Vaughn Lackey. It's a breaking ball that finds the lower corner for a strike. Lackey back in the lineup after continuing the alternating battery mates for Mitch Carricker, the manager for Hyannis, with Brody Briggs of Arizona State, who started yesterday's loss at Wareham. Lackey back in for the first time since Thursday. 0-1 pitch, a similar ball in the breaking ball, misses outside, 1-1.
He's having a tougher day at the plate, 0 for 2, but how about the 2 incredible defensive plays? That can maybe bring a spark to him, energize him a little bit, get that adrenaline pushing. We'll see what he can do here.
Albanese deals exclusively from the stretch. He comes home. This one skied on the infield. It drifts behind the dish, and the catcher, Lavin, makes the grab for the first out.
I was certain that my dream just came true. I don't know if you guys saw. Maybe rewind a couple seconds. But my heart's going right now.
Almost caught a foul ball diamond side at Lowell Park. A broadcaster's dream, as we've mentioned this season. At Fate befell Luke Brenneman, Harwich Mariners broadcaster, Graham, at an Indiana baseball
Graham,
game
feel
that
my
you
heart
called.
Right now. You feel it going.
Yeah, that's pumping
A
fast.
second fly out to the catcher in this game, as here's Jake Schaffner. Takes a first pitch on the inner corner for a strike with a breaking ball. Lackey made a fly-out catch as well. Ryan Farber fouled one back. A diving Lackey made the grab for the out. 0-1 from Albanese. Sliced foul to the backstop. 0-2 to Jake Schaffner. The incoming North Carolina Tar Heel, also a player that sat out last night. His last time out against Bourne on Thursday, he was hit by a pitch, and that was his lone appearance along the base paths in 4 at-bats. He digs in from the lefty box, waves his black bat at Albanese, who's set from the stretch. The glove at his belt, 0-2. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Schaffner late to the fastball from Albanese. It's the reliever's first K of the outing, the 6th overall for the Kettleers. 2 down in the 7th.
And those are 2 very impressive outs. Even though it's 8-9, Vaughn Lackey and Jake Schaffner are not your typical 8-9 hitters. They are so good at getting on base. But Albanese has done a really good job getting up in counts, getting these guys to take some funky swings. He's got to do the same with arguably the hardest out in the lineup.
Flip the order for Matt Mira. First pitch. A breaking ball that clips the inside corner. 0-1. Mira's reached base in his last 2 plate appearances. A walk in the 2nd, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th, and made it all the way to 3rd. Albanese's 0-1. Is slapped towards right field. It is caught by a sliding Stevens to end the inning. It brought him down to the turf, or out to the grass here at Lowell Park. But he does make the grab. It's time to get up and stretch here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Hyannis holding a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the 7th.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind the scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing. and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Hope you got up and stretched on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. It's 2-1 Hyannis here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. No lights at Lowell Park with the sun slowly creeping beneath the trees on the third base line. It darkens half of the diamond with all of center and right field illuminated, yet everything from the shade in left center field to the left of that towards third is getting dark, folks, and we know that these games have a tendency to get lighted out, for lack of better phrase. Let's reveal our trivia answer as Carson Yassa back atop the bump to face 8, 9, and 1. The question was, I believe, what is the distance from McKeon Park to Lowell Park? And the correct answer is, wait for it, first pitch. Breaking ball loops in for strike one on Cam Johnson. 9.7 is the correct answer. So if you guessed that, congratulations, you were right. Johnson set from the lefty box, and Yassa's 0-1. Squares to bunt, it sails above his letters for ball one.
It's imperative that Yassa jumps ahead right here. He's been really working himself out of holes he's dug himself into, but putting himself in the driver's seat would be imperative.
Yassa deals exclusively from the stretch. His 1-1. Breaking ball that catches the inside corner to the lefty. 1-2.
That was filthy. Started well above the zone, one of the 12 sixes, and it just dove right at the last second. Caught the heart of the plate. Yassa pitching the most that he has in an appearance this season for the Harbor Hawks, but he looks confident.
1-2. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Wichita State shocker, Cam Johnson. Nobody out, nobody on. In the bottom of the 7th, it's 2-1 Hyannis. Neither team has scored since the second inning when Cotuit got one back after Rembert's home run. And here's a strikeout from Yassa on a breaking ball. He starts the inning out with a swinging strikeout of Cam Johnson. And one down here in the 7th.
Back-to-back Ks as well for Yassa. He is pitching very, very well. I'm really surprised that he's going in and pitching his 3rd inning of the outing, but I understand it now. He's looking really confident.
Yassa typically a closer, at least in this point, in just one appearance for Mitch Carricker. His first ball to Andrew Wiggins is a strike on the outer corner. We've seen him dialed up as high as 99 today. That up from 97 at his maximum speed in Chatham on Tuesday. 0-1. This one just upstairs at the letters of Wiggins. Level to count, a ball and a strike. Wiggins is not recorded an at-bat today, just a couple of walks on the day for the Indiana Hoosier in the transfer portal. The 1-1 is low and inside. 2-1.
He has not swung the bat more than once. He swung the bat one time today. He's just kept it right over his left shoulder. He looks so patient.
2-1 from Yassa. A similar spot, this time with a fastball. It's 3-1 to the Indiana Hoosier, looking for his 3rd walk of the outing. You mentioned, Graham, earlier that he's typically a leadoff man for Indiana. Depending on his new home, will determine if he keeps that. 3-1, loops in for strike 2. He started 14 games as a true freshman with a .309 average. And that dropped to 265. 3-2 from Yassa. Skips in, nearly hits him, but it's ball 4. He lobs the bat towards the Cotuit dugout on the 3rd base line and heads to first base with his 3rd walk of the day.
Not just that, 3 walks in as many plate appearances, still yet to register in a bat. So kind of a second leadoff man for the Kettleers as well, and it's working.
And that does bring up the leadoff man, Jaron Advincula, as the Kettleers flip the order for a 4th time in this game against Harbor Hawk pitching. And now a mound visit initiated by Vaughn Lackey, the battery mate for Hyannis pitching today. 1 out, it's just Wiggins aboard after Cam Johnson struck out swinging to begin the bottom of the 7th. 2-1 Hyannis lead over Cotuit. And out comes Coach Carricker from the dugout. It looks like we'll get a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th. We mentioned that Yasa, normally a closer, maybe stretching beyond his limits here in Cotuit. After a third walk dished by Hyannis pitching to Andrew Wiggins, he could be on the way out here, and indeed, he will be. Although Yasa is not left, the new pitcher comes to the mound. We'll do an exchange of the ball. You don't normally see that. Yasa waits for the next man up to get to the mound before leaving, as if to wish him good luck. He gives him a man on with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, and the Harbor Hawks ahead 2-1. We'll head to break here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network and meet the new pitcher after this.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Bottom of the 7th inning on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. It's a pitching change for Hyannis and manager as the right-hander Carson Yasa exits the game after 2 1/3 innings pitch. He leaves a man on base with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th for Adam Troy, the rising redshirt junior, a righty hurler, incoming transfer to USC after a couple of seasons with the Pepperdine Waves of the West Coast Conference. This past spring for the Waves, he only allowed hits in 5 of his 19 appearances, a 5.79 ERA that was inflated by a 5-run outing on May 6th in a loss to Cal Poly. He brought that number down, Graham, from a 9 flat ERA in 2024, his first year with Pepperdine, and now he faces the leadoff man in the Cotuit order in Jaron Advincula with his Hawks up 2-1.
Yeah, Troy did a really good job this last year at Pepperdine. Pepperdine struggled as a baseball team, only had a handful of wins, but he was a bright spot. Allowed more than 2 earned runs only twice last season with the Waves. Both of them came in his last 4 games, so a tough end to the season, but he had a great year.
First ball to Advincula, sliced foul, third base side, 0-1.
And he's coming off a good showing at Chatham. Pitched for an inning, no hits, no runs, only 1 walk, but then he struck out a guy, so he seems to be pretty confident going into his Cape League season.
This is his second summer experience. He spent 2024 with the Wilmar Stingers of the Northwoods League. He stares in for his sign, nods, now delivers an 0-1. Off goes the runner. It's low for ball 1 as sliding in safely Wiggins with a stolen base.
And that's why he's such a good second leadoff guy. Wiggins is very quick on the base pads. That's the first time he's attempted to steal after getting 3 walks, but even if Von Lackey was able to make the transfer, it would have been very bang-bang.
1-1 upcoming from Troy. Here's the pitch. It sails above the letters of Advincula. 2 balls, 1 strike. And a rare indifference from Von Lackey. Never afraid to try anything, as you've mentioned, but also, as you alluded to, Graham, could be a little bit too difficult on that specific throw to risk anything. Troy looks back at second, 2-1. Sliced foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The speed difference notable for Cotuit Kettleers against Hyannis pitching. After Carson Yasa comes off the mound slinging as high as 99, Troy topping out at 93 here on that last fastball. 1 out, just Wiggins aboard second after a stolen base. The bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Hyannis. The righty Troy looks back, now fires. Skips it in the dirt to Lackey. Load the count 3-2.
And this danger zone for Adam Troy. Getting another runner on first with only one out. That's not a good start to your second appearance on the Cape. Also, Wiggins is the third man in scoring position that this team has had in the last 2 innings.
Advincula ready, the 3-2. Nearly hits him, he turns out of the way, it's ball 4 as it drifts inside. It's the second walk of the inning for Hyannis pitching, the first for Adam Troy, and now there's 2 on with 1 out in the 7th.
And 7th walk of the day, and that's living dangerously. Kind of surprising that the Kettleers have only been able to notch a single run, but the Harbor Hawks going to have to continue to play spoiler and strand these runners.
Ryan Farber due up next, but first a brief meeting with his manager Lauren Hibbs, a few paces from the Cotuit dugout. After him, it's Jack Natilli with 1 out and 2 on. Bottom of the 7th, it's 2-1 Hyannis. The shortstop Farber, second straight lefty to begin this order. Then Natilli, the righty, and then 5 straight lefties to end it, or rather 6 straight lefties to end it out for Lauren Hibbs. He digs in from the lefty box. It's Advincula on first, Wiggins on second. Troy on the bump for Hyannis. The pitch. Just beneath the letters of the fastball, 0-1. Sun still creeping beneath the trees over the third base side. No lights here at Lowell Park. We've made it this far to the 7th. 0-1 pitch. Sliced foul to the backstop. 0-2.
I expect us to see a lot of pitches in the bottom half of the zone. Troy with 1 out. If he can get 1 ground ball, that's a great chance for a double play and get out of the inning. Second straight with a runner in scoring position. Going to see a lot of breaking balls if I had to guess.
Ryan Farber, the Texas State Bobcat, incoming transfer to Auburn, set in the digs into the lefty box. Troy set atop the bump from the stretch. 0-2. Skips into Lackey, fields it with a backhand. 1-2 to the rising junior. Native of San Antonio, Texas. He shined during the Astros Foundation College Classic as a high schooler. All-tournament team on a tournament hosted by his local Houston Astros. The local's a stretch, San Antonio to Houston. 1-2. Flared foul. We'll do the 1-2 again.
It's the exact kind of swing that Adam Troy is looking for. A pitch down in the zone, breaking ball, and Farber just went swinging. He just went golfing that one out of the bottom of the zone. Got under it. Surprised that he did. I would have expected on that kind of breaking ball for him to chop it, if anything, but he worked hard to go down there and get it.
Farber digs into the lefty box. Troy will do the 1-2 again. The pitch. Again, foul back to the backstop. Redo it.
Troy just looking for the out pitch here. Of course, only in batter number 2. But if he can find that out pitch, maybe get a strikeout here, build that confidence, it's going to be really important for the rest of this order.
Farber leads these Kettleers in average this season with .318 in 6 games. 7 hits for the lefty. He digs in here against Troy, looking for an 8th. 1-2. Skips into Lackey. 58 of 60 feet to the dish there on a breaking ball from Troy. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, a pair of runners aboard with Wiggins on second after a walk and then a stolen base. And Jaron Advincula on first after a walk. Bottom of the 7th, Hyannis 2, Cotuit 1. The pitch is chopped towards Rembert at second. He flips to second for 1. Schaffner on to first for the second, and he's got it. A twin killing for Hyannis. It's a key one for Adam Troy to escape some damage after a pair of walks for Hyannis pitching. To the top of the 8th we go with Hyannis ahead 2-1.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
It's time for the top of the 8th here at Lowell Park. 2-1 Hyannis lead with the Hawks coming back up to bat. It's Willits, Williamson, and Rembert due up for Hyannis as they lead Cotuit by a run. But now it's also time for everyone's favorite segment here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. It's time to beat D-Bot. And our producer, Daniel Bottolino, is red hot entering this edition here at Cotuit. First West Division road trip, D-Bot. How are we feeling entering this one?
I'm feeling, I don't know, you guys seem to feel really confident going into this one. I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm still undefeated on Cape Cod, so we'll see.
You lose your first one at Wareham. You've racked
That's
off
off
five I was getting to that, 5 in a row, and now you're up 5-1. Your player is, as Jackson Willits comes to the plate, Brandon Langley, a right-handed pitcher from Western Carolina.
Ooh.
What do you got?
Oh, gosh.
Ooh. Okay, it's some sort of form of cat. Gosh.
Yeah, he's on the right track.
It's some form of cat.
The righty Albanese begins the inning with a pitch to Willits. From the stretch, he's set to dish it. First ball to him. Squares to bunt, flares it foul, third base side, 0-1.
I'll take you through my thinking right now.
I think we're going to need a shot clock here, D-Bot.
No, you don't.
I like letting him think.
You don't get all inning, though.
Oh, I do. So I'm trying to figure out if it's a cat that has a cat in the name or if it's something like a jaguar. But you wouldn't give me 2 jaguars a few times.
South Alabama most recently.
Yeah.
0-1 pitch. Misses outside with a breaking ball. 1-1.
Western Carolina. I'm just going to go with Bobcats.
That is incorrect. It's the Catamounts. You were on the right track, D-Bot. But pause the Catamounts frowns at you as Western Carolina beats D-Bot today. 1-1. Swing, get a miss, 1-2.
Let the record show I'm on the board today. I'm distracted.
Working and playing beat D-Bot, having to brace for what comes up. And D-Bot, we have to tip the cap for an incredible run that was just broken with that incorrect answer.
All winning streaks must come to an end. It's how we get better.
Still 5-2 on the year. That was beat D-Bot here in the top of the 8th. 1-2 to Jackson Willits, strike 3. He swings through the fastball. It's a first out of the top half of the frame for Tyler Albanese.
But also, no, go ahead, Max.
I was going to say that's the first time that Willits has struck out all summer. Wow.
Hot start to the Cape League campaign, the second in a row for Jackson Willits after an all-star summer with Falmouth a year ago. It's the second strikeout for Albanese, and here's Andrew Williamson. He takes the first pitch ball at the letters.
I was just going to give D-Bot his flowers for thinking that cat might have been in the name. That's pretty impressive. You know your stuff, man.
D-Bot, I want to say, if you got that, ending the game was considered because of how good you'd be at this. 1-0. Misses high at the letters, similar spot, but it would become much to the chagrin of us and, I would hope, the listeners and viewers. As Beat D-Bot has morphed into a very popular segment here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Albanese set from the stretch with a glove at his belt. He kicks and throws. Williamson throws the bat up inside as that pitch clips the zone for a strike.
There's that lane changer. Sinker starts in off the plate, comes right back onto the inside corner. Hitting's hard, ladies and gentlemen.
2-1 is inside, and Williamson turns to his dugout to signal about some sort of pitch tendency for Tyler Albanese.
Yeah, he's going off the changeup right there, and that's the tunnel we're talking about on the inside corner. Had the sinker, then he goes to the changeup. What a take from Williamson.
Williamson digs in from the lefty box. A 3-1. He's skied behind the plate foul. Lands over the press box and rattles off some object in the parking lot. Hopefully no one's window or bumper. Williamson waves his bat at the righty pitcher Albanese, who's set from the stretch with his glove at the belt. breath. Now the 3-2. This one is lifted high into shallow left field. The left fielder Wiggins and Farber on it. And the left fielder calls off Farber to make the first out. Williamson flies out for the first time today. And that's the first and second out of the 8th inning.
After having a day off, Williamson has looked not rusty, but he hasn't had his best swing. He's putting a lot of balls on the ground, and then it flew out that one. He's gotten on base. He walked his first plate appearance, so the eye is still there. But he struck out. He reached on a fielder's choice that he just put on the ground. It was a possible double play ball that Cotuit couldn't finish off, and then there flew that one.
First ball to Chris Rembert, a breaking ball that misses inside, and it's 1-0. Well, Albanese has done quite well in relief of Preston Crowells. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. Now an out away from the same in the 8th. 1-0 is tattooed, fouled on the first base line. A ball and a strike to Rembert. Rembert entered the game 4 of 4 with a walk last night against Wareham in the loss. Just a triple shy of the cycle. He furthers that with a homer in the first inning. A 2-run shot to deep left center. Albanese set from the stretch. His 1-1. It drifts inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Rembert's home run, still the difference in this game, as no one has scored since the 2nd inning when Cotuit rallied to get a run back off Luke Lavin's RBI single. 2 outs and no one on. 2-1. Drifts inside. It's a check swing. No appeal to first. 3-1 to Rembert. Rembert, one of a few Harbor Hawks, they're on their way to Team USA training camp in Cary, North Carolina this upcoming week. Albanese set from the stretch. Here's his 3-1 offering. And Rembert laces this to left field. The left fielder Wiggins is on it, and he's left the yard again. Chris Rembert getting his money's worth before Team USA training camp. It's his 2nd home run of the game and 3rd of the last 2 days. He extends the Hyannis lead 3-1.
The ball just sounds different off the bat. 104 miles an hour. Forget launch angle, forget all of that. Just listen to the sound.
He's headed for the Codball Player of the Day award. A blistering 104 miles per hour off the bat from Chris Rembert. He leaves the park to left field. First pitch to Miles Bailey, misses at the knees. It's 1-0. Rembert's home run a night ago in the first inning, a 3-run shot to give Hyannis the early lead. Off the tip of the bat. This one, the one today in the first inning, a slight pull hit as Bailey fouls back the 1-0 pitch. But this one, he straight turned on it, Max, and deposited it into the Cotuit bullpen in left field.
We left it right over the heart of the plate. You cannot do it to a guy of that caliber.
And Albanese trying to put it behind him atop the bump for Cotuit. 1-1 ball. Swing gonna miss from Bailey. Way ahead of a breaking ball. And it's 1-2. And if you're Albanese, just trying to get to the bottom of the 8th inning, where Cotuit has 6 outs to erase a now 2-run deficit, thanks to Chris Rembert solely, responsible for all 3 RBI today. Albanese a strike away, the 1-2. It sends Miles Bailey shuffling back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Brushed him off the plate right there. He changed velocities the pitch prior with that big loopy breaking ball. But perhaps Bailey put that in his back pocket. Then he goes to the fastball up and in.
2 outs, no one aboard. The infield shifting the lefty Miles Bailey to pull. Cotuit's reliever Tyler Albanese atop the bump. The pitch is scorched into left field. It drops in front of Wiggins, a base hit for Bailey. He's going to take the turnaround first chug into second. The throw from Wiggins is not in time, and a 2-out double from Miles Bailey to follow up the homer from Rembert.
Well, there's another high crack of the bat. And what a swing from Miles Bailey, taking it the other way. That is so impressive to do as a hitter, especially on the other-handed sinker. And we're going to have a mound visit right here.
Cotuit going to talk with the pitcher on the bump. It's the pitching coach Eric Luxus trotting from the dugout to the mound. Tyler Albanese, the San Jose State righty hurler, began his relief appearance of Preston Crowell's quite well. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. A strike away from a repeat performance in the 8th for Chris Rembert before Rembert made him pay with a solo shot to left field. Rembert's second home run of the day. It's got Hyannis up 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. And with 2 outs and Bailey aboard at second base with the double, up comes Ray Velasquez, the righty swinging third baseman. Entered this game red hot after a night off against Wareham yesterday. Velasquez returns to the lineup with Andrew Williamson. The two of them have combined for 31 home runs in their careers. Velasquez knocked an RBI double in the 4th against Chatham his last time out on Tuesday. Also worked a couple of walks. Faces Albanese for the first time. The first pitch, breaking ball, misses inside. 1-0. Velasquez looking to drive in Bailey and secure some insurance for Hyannis in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Harbor Hawk lead over the Kettleers. 1-0. Misses outside, this time a fastball. It's 2-0. A matchup of worst versus first here at Lowell Park. Cotuit, a league worst 1-5. Hyannis, atop the West Division, 3-2-1. Bailey leads off second, 2-0. The fastball finds the zone on the outer corner. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That one just clipped it to Ray Velasquez. He's had a little trouble seeing it today. 2 strikeouts and a ground into a double play.
He's set in the right, digs into the righty's batter's box. Albanese set from the stretch. His back slightly turned. 2-1 pitch, just misses the belt of Velasquez inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Or rather, 3 balls, 1 strike. Velasquez readjusts his jersey and digs in for the hitter's count. 2 outs and Bailey aboard on second. The pitch is scorched into the left center field gap. Wiggins on it. He loses his hat and makes the grab to end the damage there for Tyler Albanese. It's Chris Rembert leaving the yard once again for a 3-1 Hyannis lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Before we head
by Jacob Irons after 2 summers with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Wow.
Back on the Cape.
Really? Already that long?
Quickly.
Yeah.
And you've been busy.
I have been busy. It's been nice. I forget that Cape Cod is like an actual place. It's not just baseball heaven. Like, you can go to beach, you can go to the beach, you can go play mini golf. Like, you forget about that there's an entire, like, vacation land out there that you don't get to do. Like, I was sitting on the beach at 3 o'clock yesterday, a home game Friday. Never saw a beach on a Friday of a home game like that. That wouldn't have been happening. So I like this side of it a little bit on the vacation side.
And you've been willing to contribute here, even no longer an intern, now
a
Notre Dame graduate.
Yeah.
Really?
I just want to make sure that's known. That's my center field again. I just want to make sure. Anyone out there watching, hey, if you were there for the past 2 summers, you know that workout in center field. That ladder, that's Jake Irons and Jim ladder. And we know how to do it.
I want to throw back to beat D-Bot. D-Bot
Yes.
did not get it. You had it.
The Catamounts. Come on.
Exactly. Wow.
Catamounts. I say this only because Notre Dame men's basketball played Western Carolina in like a non-con game early in the season in December that I broadcasted. So it's nothing. It's not off the top of my noggin. It's just because they were there. So got to give them credit, though. New Cats was in the name.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Happy to hear your voice again.
Oh, thanks,
and
buddy.
Just how's it been getting away from Harbor Hawks Baseball? What's the future look like for Jacob Irons, and how's it been to be back?
Yeah, it's been awesome to be back. I'm really excited. Get to start a job in July with NBC Sports, working on Thursday Night Football on their NFL coverage, doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. But I'm really excited. Should be a lot of time. But, hey, good game here. 3-1.
Definitely a good
Battle
game.
of Barnstable. We got to get back to the boys, though.
Yep.
They know what they're doing.
Thank you, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlie and Jacob. Always great to hear the legendary Jacob Irons back on these airwaves of the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Time for the bottom of the 8th. Adam Troy versus Ryan Farber. First pitch breaking ball finds the zone. The switch hitting Farber batted from the left side last time up. Now he bats from the right as the first batter in the eighth. His Cotuit Kettleers trail Hyannis 3-1. Troy's 0-1. Nearly hits him. He dodges out of the way. Count levels, a ball and a strike. Last inning, Chris Rembert did something he's already done today. A home run in the first and a home run in the eighth to stretch the Harbor Hawk lead to 2. In this battle of Barnstable, as you heard Jacob Irons say. Troy set from the stretch, the 1-1. Fastball clips the outer corner for a strike. 1-2.
I feel like this has got to be so much more settling for a pitcher. You come in with a runner on second, then you walk a guy, but you're able to get out of the inning. Coming in the bottom of the eighth with no one on and a fresh sheet, that's got to feel so good.
And Troy ahead 1-2. Pitch skips into Lackey, who springs out of his crouch to block that ball in the lefty batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ryan Farber.
And this goes back to what Mitch Carricker said before yesterday's game. When the offense comes alive, all it does is take the pressure off the pitching. Now pitching with a 2-run lead, Troy can relax more and focus on his own game.
2 balls, 2 strikes on deck to Farber. Troy with a breath, now comes home. Fouled right back to us.
My hand went way before yours, Graham.
It did. I was adjusting our levels, but that's very true.
The 2-2 repeated, or will be repeated, as that would have been right to Graham. He split us. Any one of us would have had a play. It rattles off the chain link fence here at Lowell Park. Troy's 2-2. Low and inside. Full count, 3-2. Troy set from the stretch. No one on, no one out in the bottom of the eighth. 3-1 Hyannis. 3-2. Low and inside. It's another leadoff walk for the Kettleers after Jack Natili led off the 7th inning with a hit by pitch. Andrew Wiggins' leadoff walk in the 7th also rings true here in the 8th.
That's walk number 8 for the Hyannis pitching staff. That is far higher than any number that we have seen.
This is Nolan Stevens, folks. I had the wrong batter at the plate. My apologies on that. Jack Natili, the DH, now that is on first base after the walk. And up is the lefty Nolan Stevens. First pitch from Troy. Swing and a miss at the fastball.
Great pitch there. Just blows it right by the batter. Nolan Stevens did not have a chance.
Natili creeps off of first. Stevens digs into the lefty box. Troy nods for his sign. Now fires. Swing and a miss. Exactly the same speed on the clock at 93. And 0-2 to the right fielder for Cotuit. He walked in his last time to the plate. Before that, a fly out and a ground out. He's into his squat in the lefty box as Troy throws down to first and Natili back in time.
I feel like that was just to escape the pitch clock, because that pitch clock was around 3 or 2 and Adam Troy still hadn't made his move. He didn't really spin around that fast. I think he was just trying to disengage.
0-2 is fouled off the inner ankle of Nolan Stevens. We'll do the 0-2 again. Troy took a lap around the mound. Now briefly reverts to the windup before moving to the stretch as he gets his sign from Von Lackey. One out, one on, no one out. He nods for his sign. The 0-2. Sliced foul on the third base line. We'll do it again.
Stevens being very stingy, very hard to get out, making a lot of contact. No balls in the at-bat, but he's made contact with 2 foul balls. So he's finding it. He's locating it. He just can't quite connect squarely. But that's going to be nerve-wracking for a pitcher, knowing you've got an 0-2 count, but can't get anything by him right now.
Cincinnati Bearcat on first and Jack Natili. The Mississippi State Bulldog at the plate. And Stevens fouls it down the first base line. A third consecutive 0-2 on deck.
Stevens is choked up like 2-3 inches on the bat. He is really shortening up his two-strike approach on full effect, keeping it nice and short, and it's a very clean two-strike approach, what you want from your four-hole hitter.
He digs into the lefty box. Troy peers for his sign. Has it. 0-2. Fouled off once again. Stevens staying alive with some key plate protection here, Max, as Cotuit tries to lift itself back into this game.
And you got to credit Troy as well, going right on the outside corners of the zone, not making it easy for the hitter Stevens. You definitely don't want to miss over the plate because a mistake could tie this game with one swing.
Highly touted recruit Nolan Stevens, number 2 first baseman in the nation in 2023. Trying to show why. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Troy struck him out. Throw down to first is not in time, as a healthy lead for Jack Natili almost came back to bite him. And he remains at first. The strikeout of Stevens as Troy picks up his first K of the day.
That was almost phenomenal pickoff by Von Lackey.
He already had that one at second base as well.
Yeah, these runners are sleeping on him.
He's been doing everything that game. The crazy catch and then caught stealings.
Caught a foul ball from Ryan Farber just behind the dish, full extension. 1 out and a man aboard. Here's Case Sanderson. Troy deals. Inside pitch with the breaking ball. And Sanderson barely moves. A ball and a strike. A ball and no strikes. This is the 7th strikeout for Harbor Hawks pitching after 13 a night ago. Hyannis entered the day 3rd in the league with 64 strikeouts. 1-0. He's roped into right field past the second baseman Rembert and into right center field. Rounding second, Natili chugs his way into third. And it's a single for Case Sanderson, who's on base for the 3rd time in a row.
Well, the dirt just got a little bit better of Chris Rembert there. He was expecting it to take a bigger hop than it did. He was going for that backhand with his left hand, and it just skidded. Instead of bouncing, it skipped like he was on a grass tennis court.
So Lackey initiates a mound meeting, as we'll get a pinch hitter here for Easton Winfield. And you speak of Nolan Stevens as a highly touted recruit. Few freshmen more highly touted than Rintaro Sasaki, who pinch hits for Easton Winfield here. The Stanford Cardinal freshman, a big swinging lefty at 6'0", 275. He went to the same high school as Shohei Ohtani in Japan, Hanamaki Higashi High School, and broke Ohtani's home run record. Hit 140 home runs to set a Japan high school record as a mound meeting initiated by Mitch Carricker. In response to the pinch hit from Lauren Hibbs, he could go to a different arm here.
Sasaki is probably going to be the toughest out to get in this ball game. He has so much power, and it's not going to be tough necessarily because of his eye or anything, but just because you do not want to give this guy anything to hit. He is the go-ahead run right now in this ball game with 2 on, 190 feet away. So if you give him anything to hit and he makes contact, it could well change up the course of this game.
And that will do it for Adam Troy in this game. He relieves Carson Yassa, but a new arm on the bump for Hyannis. We'll go quickly to break here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network and meet the new pitcher to face a difficult out in Rintaro Sasaki after this.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Well, folks, listen to what we have brewing here at Lowell Park. It's the bottom of the 8th. There's one man aboard for Cotuit. It trails Hyannis 3-1. A new pitcher to the bump for the Harbor Hawks. It's Ryan Spechiak, the hard-throwing righty out of Stanford and native of Goleta, California. Last pitch against Chatham on Tuesday when he allowed the tying run in but did pinch the 10th inning, faced one over the minimum to seal the tie at Veterans Field this past Tuesday. He comes into this game against Cotuit with his Harbor Hawks up by 2 to face a difficult out, but one he is familiar with. It is the left-hitting first baseman Rintaro Sasaki, who is as decorated as anybody that's come into college baseball and the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. The Baseball America preseason National Freshman of the Year. He belted 140 home runs at Hanamaki Higashi High School in Japan, the same high school as MLB great Shohei Ohtani. Slashed .413, .514, and .808. Before playing for the Cardinal, this guy turned heads, Graham, and now he'll get an interesting matchup against his teammate at Stanford in a big spot with runners on the corners and one out here in the bottom of the 8th. Spechiak's first ball, a fastball that catches the inside corner, 0-1.
His stance very eerily resembles that of Bryce Harper's. The way he rests his bat on his shoulder. Both two greats.
Weighs in at 6'0", 270. Swings it from the left side. 0-1 misses at his knees. A ball and a strike to the Stanford University rising sophomore. In his first year with the Cardinal, 54 hits, 7 home runs, and 41 RBIs. 1-1. Another fastball from Spechiak. It misses low. 2 balls and a strike.
He's got a good eye. Spechiak trying to give him something that he can hit weakly or swing at least. And every time that low ball comes in, he just shakes his head since Sasaki is shaking him off.
Sanderson on first, Natili on third. Sasaki at the plate. With one out, the 2-1. Sliced fouled in the third base line. You hear the oohs and ahs from this crowd at Lowell Park.
It's like the park kind of just woke up a little bit.
A highly touted player at the dish. Videoing phones out everywhere as Sasaki takes a lap around the box, digs in, he gently taps his bat on the plate and angles it behind his navy blue Kettleer helmet. 2-2 from Spechiak. Another flare foul ball down the third base line. We'll do the 2-2 again.
And all the foul balls, yours to keep, courtesy of Cotuit Liquors.
Sasaki, the Japanese high school record holder, passing Shohei Ohtani. Always an onerous feat. Spechiak's 2-2. Swing and a miss! Ryan Spechiak wins the Battle of the Cardinal. He K's up Rintaro Sasaki. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th with 2 on.
Wow, what a big out. Sasaki was playing so tough. He did not swing at any of those breaking balls that went low. And then Spechiak got him right there. Started it over the heart of the plate, dead center, and then it just dropped.
That brings up Luke Lavin. Runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Hyannis lead. Swings at the first pitch. A lively breaking ball that drifts inside. 0-1. Lavin tonight belted in the only run for Cotuit. An RBI single in the second that drove in Case Sanderson, who creeps off of first base with Bailey covering. The righty Spechiak atop the bump. He's 0-1. Another breaking ball, this time beneath the knees of Lavin. 1-1 the count. Lavin, another Stanford Cardinal player. A catcher and infielder out of Laguna Beach, California. 1-1. Chopped down the first base line, 1-2. So how about this for Ryan Spechiak? The Cardinal closer comes in to face a pair of teammates in a huge spot for Hyannis.
It's going to be a fun conversation next fall.
With 2 outs, a 1-2 count to Luke Lavin, 2 aboard in the bottom of the 8th, a 2-run Hyannis lead. Spechiak breathes, now fires. It skips into Vaughn Lackey. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Lackey doing a good job staying in front of that pitch. There is a runner 90 feet away. So if anything gets by him right now, it's pretty inevitable that a run's coming home.
Spechiak hangs his arm in front of his waist. Now comes set at the stretch with the glove at his belt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. The fastball misses the outer corner. Load the count to Luke Lavin.
He thought he had it. He thought that was strike 3. He skipped off the bump, heading back to the dugout, but now he's got to lock back in with a full count.
Sanderson going to be on the move.
Natili on third. The aforementioned Sanderson on first base. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Hyannis. The pitch. Breaking ball in for strike 3. Ryan Spechiak quells the fire of Cotuit in the bottom of the 8th. He strands runners on the corners. He Ks up the only 2 batters he faces, his teammates at Stanford. A fun conversation in the fall upcoming for Ryan Spechiak as we head to the 9th at a darkening Lowell Park here in Cotuit.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
As 3 outs remain for both sides here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. What a scene in the bottom of the 8th as Ryan Spechiak relieves Adam Troy. The only 2 batters he faces, Rintaro Sasaki and Luke Lavin, a pair of Stanford teammates. And the Stanford Cardinal reliever Ryan Spechiak gets out of it to maintain Hyannis' 3-1 lead. Well, Cotuit gives the ball from Tyler Albanese to Ryan Buckler, a right-handed pitcher out of Florida Atlantic, teammates with Hyannis starter tonight, Trey Beard for the Owls. The rising junior is a native of Barnstable, Massachusetts, and he gets to pitch in what a game that the locals have dubbed the Battle of Barnstable between Hyannis and Cotuit. Buckler's a resident of Cape Cod, as we just mentioned. He goes to Virginia Tech for his freshman year, transfers to FAU. He only appeared in 4 games for the Hokies, but musters a 5.52 ERA in 18 games and 14 innings for the FAU Owls. A returner to Cotuit will face Charlie Bates, Vaughn Lackey, and Jake Schaffner, 7, 8, 9 in the Hyannis order, with a 3-1 Harbor Hawk lead here in the top of the 9th. And first, it is another Stanford Cardinal player, Charlie Bates. After that school out in Pasadena, took over the bottom of the 8th inning here at Lowell Park. And a pitch-com issue early for Buckler. He steps off the mound, removes his crimson hat, and is looking around for a position coach to come in. And now, indeed, out comes the pitching coach, Eric Luxus, for Cotuit. 3-1 Hyannis lead. Bates, the first batter of the bottom of the 9th. He is 0 for 3 today. A line out, a ground out, and a strikeout looking back in the 6th. He now comes to the 9th, and if Hyannis can flip the order, it would bring up Matt Mira and Jackson Willits. And if you can get to Chris Rembert, look out. First ball to Bates outside from Buckler, 1-0. Rembert's got a couple of home runs tonight. A 2-run shot in the 1st and a solo shot in the 8th. All of Hyannis' runs. Bates taps the 1-0 to first on a hop. Sanderson goes to the bag himself, or rather Sasaki goes to the bag himself, 1 away. Mentioned Graham Rotaro. Sasaki comes in relief of Easton Winfield. A highly anticipated at-bat that felt like that's the kind of player your fans at this game are going to talk about that they watched all the way back then when he's in MLB and beyond.
That's absolutely right. The air just felt different when people saw that he was coming up to the plate. Everyone sat down in their seats, pulled out their phones, sat forward. Very Shohei Ohtani-esque.
First pitch from Buckler to Vaughn Lackey is a strike at the knees. Lackey, the battery mate for Hyannis pitching tonight, batting eighth. He's 0 for 3. Andrew Wiggins moves from left into center for Cotuit. Case Sanderson's out of the game as Lackey swings at the 0-1. As we mentioned, Sasaki at first, and Nolan Stevens moves to left in the place of Wiggins at center. Rather, Sanderson moves into right field. So the first baseman giving way to Sasaki and taking over for Nolan Stevens. 0-2. Nearly hits Lackey in the head with a fastball, 1-2. The catcher has to duck out of the way. Buckler trying to get it to the bottom of the ninth, where Cam Johnson, Andrew Wiggins, and Jaron Advincula do up. Cotuit trails 3-1. 1-2 pitch, rings up Lackey on the inside corner, strike 3. So Bates grounds out to Sasaki. Lackey K's up looking. And the last hope in the top of the ninth for Hyannis is Jake Schaffner.
Tough day for Vaughn Lackey at the plate, and Charlie Bates for that matter. 7 and 8 have had a tough time in this lineup. Lackey made contact early on. Pop out, fly out, pop out. That time went down looking.
First pitch is scorched into the left center field alley. Drops for a base hit. Schaffner takes a wide turn around second before retreating back to the bag. It's a 2-out single for Jake Schaffner.
Easton Winfield, the center fielder, was well over to his left, more towards Nolan Stevens in right field. And so Schaffner just said, I'll take that gap in left center, pushed it beautifully right up the middle, and that is well enough for a single. He wanted to turn it into 2 really badly, but got the stop, didn't feel like he could.
So with 2 outs and Schaffner aboard at first. Flip the order for Matt Mura. 5th time to the plate in this game. And he sails the first pitch foul, first base. 0-1. Mura reached base in his middle 2 at-bats. He flanked it with a ground out and a fly out in the 1st and 7th, respectively. Facing Buckler for a first time in this game. A long hold from the righty. Now a pickoff at first, and sliding back in is Schaffner. Now completely dark here at Lowell Park, but the sun that remains illuminating the field enough to continue the game. The wind coming from the plate into center field with the batter. 0-1. Off goes the runner Schaffner as Mira chops this to third. Johnson on a hot field and nabs the out. Buckler faces one above the minimum in the top of the ninth to give his Kettleers a chance. Cotuit trails Hyannis 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the ninth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Just 3 outs remain for the hometown Kettleers here at Lowell Park. They trail Hyannis 3-1 entering the bottom of the ninth, and atop the hill, it's Stanford Cardinal reliever Ryan Spechiak. The rising junior from Goleta, California, faced a couple of his teammates in the bottom of the eighth, and he K'd up Rintaro Sasaki and Luke Lavin. And now 8-9-1 due up for Lauren Hibbs Kettleers as they seek to shake a 1-5 start to the Cape League summer here in 2025. Giovanni Collada with Graham Nash and Max Schwartzberg. Cam Johnson, the first batter to the dish in the bottom of the ninth inning, with Cotuit needing to get to tying run to the plate, down 3-1 against Hyannis. The lefty plays third base, a rising junior at Wichita State. He digs in. He's the first batter to face Spechiak in the ninth. First ball, sliced foul, third base side, 0-1. Johnson 0 for 3 today. A strikeout last time to the dish, the sixth for Hyannis pitching of 9 now in the game, including a pair from Spechiak in the eighth. He digs in for the 0-1. Spechiak stares in for his sign. Now works from the windup. He comes home. Fastball, paints the outer corner, 0-2.
He liked that pitch. He gave a little bunny hop after he released it and located the zone. He's moving and grooving.
Cam Johnson steps out briefly, taps the dish with his crimson and black bat. And now Spechiak kicks and deals. Flared foul, 0-2, upcoming again. For Spechiak, he's slotted in as one of a few closers for Mitch Carricker. He closed against Harwich this past Sunday, faced 1 over the minimum in his only inning of work. Last time out against Chatham, pitched a pair of innings. His 0-2. A fastball just misses outside. Ball and a strike to Cam Johnson. On Tuesday against Chatham, he pitched the ninth, did allow the tying run to cross, but in the 10th, he faced 1 over the minimum to seal the tie for Hyannis. Harbor Hawk team that sits atop the West Division, playing the league last Cotuit. 1-2. Breaking ball, drifts away from the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Wichita State shocker, Cam Johnson.
Spechiak went up 0-2 in this count. Now 2 straight balls. He can't let Johnson get back into this count. That's how the walks start funneling in.
Johnson into his crouch in the lefty box, the 2-2. He goes low with the check swing, and on the appeal, he did not go around. Breaking ball misses low and in the dirt. It'll load the count to the third baseman for Cotuit.
This is going to be whatever pitch he's most comfortable with. You don't want to put the leadoff man aboard, especially one that would bring the tying run to the plate should he reach.
A dimly lit Lowell Park watches on. The field still in pristine shape. 3-2 from Spechiak is belted towards third, gathered by Mura, thrown on to first in time for the opening out of the ninth. So Johnson grounds out to third. That makes way for Andrew Wiggins with 1 down and no one aboard.
Wiggins still yet to record an at-bat. He has made 3 plate appearances. He's drawn 3 walks. He's swung maybe 2 times. He's looked so patient all ball game long.
This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Wiggins takes the first pitch ball from Spechiak. Now digs in quickly as Spechiak works from the windup. He fires. Breaking ball sails away from the plate. 2-0. Wiggins in the transfer portal out of Indiana. Through 5 games so far with the Kettleers, he's batting .231. At one point during this past spring with Indiana, he batted as high as .350. Lowered it to .265. 2-0. Drifts inside, 3-0.
I feel like he was above that. At one point, he was near the .375 number, might have even been above that. He started out so hot in the spring, was a leadoff batter, was torching every pitcher that came his way. But then Big Ten play rolled around, and he started to struggle.
Spechiak's 3-0. A fastball right over the heart for a first strike of the count. The infield slightly shifts the lefty Wiggins to pull. With the first baseman Bailey a few paces from the outfield grass and right. With one out, no one aboard, the pitch. Breaking ball at the knees, it clips for strike two. Wiggins had thrown his bat, and he freezes as he goes to drop his protective gear under the impression he had worked his fourth walk. The bat boy gives him his bat back as he surprisingly heads to the left-handed batter's box.
Incredibly delayed call as well.
3-2 count. One out, no one on, bottom of the ninth. The pitch. Chopped towards third. Another repeat play for Mura. He gloves and throws in time for out number 2.
Well, that has got to hurt for Andrew Wiggins. He thought that he had another walk, a fourth walk of the game in his back pocket, and it is taken away from him just like that. A very delayed call, like you said, Max. Stransky behind the plate waited for him to fully flip his bat and take off that protective elbow gear.
Now a third straight lefty to the dish in Jaron Advincula as Cotuit flips the order. First ball. Swing and a miss. Well out in front of the breaking ball. 2 outs, both would come with a 5-3 putout. And now Advincula down 0-1. It's the last hope for Cotuit in the bottom of the ninth. They trail Hyannis 3-1. And now the home plate umpire George Strasky issues a warning to Lauren Hibbs in the Cotuit dugout. Likely dissenting. He's missed what he believes is a missed ball fork call to Andrew Wiggins, who grounded out just a moment ago. 0-1. It skips into Lackey. Springs out of his crouch to block it. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Lackey earning favorites with the home plate umpire George Stronsky, sacrificing the body with nobody on base to avoid him getting hit. Might buy him a pitch or a strike.
A burnt orange sky creeps over the trees in straightaway left field. Speciak from the windup delivers. This one slapped towards first. Bailey picks it up, scoops to his pitcher, and that ends the game. Hyannis wins the Battle of Barnstable. The first one of the summer goes to the Harbor Hawks. It's 3-1 final here at Lowell Park. The final line, 3 runs for Hyannis on 6 hits, just 1 error in the field for the Hawks. Cotuit musters only 1 run, 3 hits, and an error. Hyannis moves to 4-2-1, remains atop the West Division, while Cotuit falls to 1-6 in a game, guys, that had all the drama towards the end. That 8th inning, so stressful for Cotuit fans. Also so cool to see Rentaro Sasaki come to the dish, but ultimately Hyannis escapes with a win.
We've talked about the clutch gene at the plate. How about the clutch gene on the mound? These Hyannis pitchers have been unbelievable in the high leverage situations. Ryan Speciak coming in relief, striking out back-to-back teammates at Stanford. So impressive. And what do you know, 9 strikeouts once again for Mitch Carricker's squad. You can pencil it in on any given night. A clean 3-1 Hyannis win.
And Graham, in what could be his final game as a Harbor Hawk, Chris Rembert delivers another performance for the ages. 2 home runs that were the difference in this game, as he was responsible for driving in all 3 runs.
Yeah, the Hyannis bats went cold after that first inning. Williamson drew a walk, Rembert had that home run, and Bailey had a single. It looked like it was going to be another phenomenal night for the Hyannis batting, but then they went cold all the way up until the 8th when Rembert hit his second home run of the day. So he pretty much factually solely lifted this team to a victory, put all 3 runs on the scoreboard. Without Chris Rembert, number 10, in that burnt orange jersey, there would have been no win tonight for Hyannis.
Hyannis does get that win, though. It moves to 4-2-1, leading the CCBL in a number of stats. And they'll head home tomorrow to face off against the Chatham Anglers. That's a 6 o'clock first pitch here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Coverage begins at 5:45 for our entire crew from Lowell Park. For Sam Montag, Daniel Bottolino, Charlie Adams, our reporters. Charlie Adams also tonight doing some reporting pre-game and during the game. Ethan Wax, our wonderful sideline reporter. For Max Schwartzberg and Graham Nash, I'm Giovanni Collada saying good night and so long from Lowell Park. See you all tomorrow against Chatham on Sunday.
Great broadcast, Gio.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Yeah. You even ask, like, where does the team get that?
Coach, just keep it simple. Chris Rumber, 2 home runs today, played it all 3 runs. What have you seen from him? So our XLR, we have our XLR. We have to return that to I can return where it normally goes. You guys go do hot dog. I'll break this down. We don't. That camera's dead as hell. Public knowledge that he's leaving. So, Rumber. Is it public knowledge that Beard is not? Think so? Yeah. I think so.